There we go. Oh, wait, there's only one. Hello? Check, check. So, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to those of you on the West Coast. Good day. And probably early morning. Oh, there we go. It's good evening to Anders. And, okay, let me unmute that. Or let me mute that back. There we go. I don't know if it was cycling through or not so you guys could hear what I was hearing. But what did I say while I was on mute? I said good morning. Oh, I was looking for the lights because there's the loaner Tesla they put me in integrates itself into the home because it's a new car with the cloud profiles and 01010. Hi, good to see you. And so they have us in a Model X Plaid, and that thing is pretty sweet. It like teleports. The ours is fast, but it's brutal acceleration. The Plaid it teleports. Let's see, I've got one more thing to do here before we get rocking. Make sure that the collab cam is still on in case any of the and friends join us. This is on. And let's send this tweet. There we go. And then switch over here to the browser. I had to download the software again. That's what slowed us down today. Went to launch it and they're like, yeah, no. Let's switch on over to WebView and we'll do one of that first. Yes, let's do that first. Let's go to my X feed. There we go. And then we'll go to presentation view. And then we'll pick a window. It also gives me a chance to check our X feed. All right, it looks smooth. Go to not an HTML capture, we want a window capture. We're going to do, and I'll tell you all about why I'm in a plaid today, and probably for the next 3 weeks. Oh, it's been a fun 6 years with this vehicle. It should be called 18 Kacey. There we go. A little too wide, so we'll shrink it in a little bit. Come on. There you go. One more. Yes. Good job. Okay, so if you haven't seen my tweet, we were on the way to take my daughter to see her cousin, and we made it to the Orangeburg Supercharger, and the car was only pulling 72 kilowatts. I mean, yeah, 72 at that state of charge is fine, but at the state of charge we started at, it should have been closer to 100, if not 100. And it was just 72. That's fine. So we unplug, and the thing starts beeping like crazy when I try to put it in drive. And talking about power reduced, vehicle may not start, whole bunch of stuff. And what it ended up being was, well, what we know it is so far is there's a pair of these 16 modules that is overvolted and one module that is undervolted. And let me get the note here from a friend who does, he used to be a mobile tech and now he's got a good shop. We got a video coming out with him as soon as I put it together. He said that I've got the F107 fault. It's typically one or more battery management circuit boards and associated cell voltage wires with corrosion on them. I'll be getting a refurbished back. And they ordered that. They said it'd probably take a week at a minimum to get it in from California. Unless they already had some headed to like a regional distribution point or something. and glad it happened at the supercharger, not on the road. So we were able to, I want to say pull over. We were able to just kind of sit there. One suggestion I had for Tesla, as I say in the piece, is that just because you've turned off the pack, if somebody supplies AC or DC to the charge port, use that to run the air conditioner and charge the low voltage or mid voltage battery, depending on which car we're talking about. Um, because if it's dead on the charger at home or at work or the supercharger, there's still some fresh power there. You don't have to run it through the battery. So what they did was, as soon as I unlocked it, they latched the charge port so you couldn't stick a cable back in there, and the charge port kept opening and closing as people were coming and going because, excuse me, at the superchargers they have got a different signal and a much stronger signal than the one at the home chargers. So as people are like even all the way down to the end of the what is it, 12 bays, people are clicking the to plug in their own cars. Mine's just opening the flap, opening the flap, and so my sister, she's like, this car's been so bad for you. I'm like, it's 6 years old, broke down twice. I mean, they were major when they broke down, but they're both under warranty as well, so not that big a deal. And then I had one flat tire, and thankfully for me, the flat tire was right at the time to change the tires anyway. So I don't know that it's cost anything really extra other than the various trips to the service centers, and that's just on me for buying a car where it's illegal to sell and service them. Uh, I love places named South. Um, we got our FSD computer update in 2019. The air conditioner went out 3 times. Once they had to do something about that. Once, twice we had the coolant low because that's how we knew that that's how we discovered the rear drive unit needed replacing because it was soaking up the coolant. And but it's only been down twice. Every other time it was drivable. Not that you want to drive a black car with a helicopter windshield in the middle of summer. I thankfully had the white seats and the ventilated seats, and the windows still rolled down. But everything else it's been in for, nothing put it down. It's just an inconvenience for the items that have to go to the service center. So what's next is they're going to tell me all about what's going on with the new pack, and I'll keep you guys updated. And at some point, I will put the video together with my friend where we talk about what could happen to your drive unit before your warranty runs out, and what you can do about it if you're out of warranty and they find coolant in your large rear drive unit. So this only affects the 2012 to I guess it'd be all the legacy X's that have the large rear drive unit. So we're talking performance ones, and then the rear wheel drive only Model S's up until they switched to the permanent magnet motor, and the performance Model S's until the Plaid came out because they have that large rear drive unit. But we'll talk about that in the video, and I guess I need to hurry up and get them out there in case any of you are in my position. As far as the news, let's see here. I got distracted opening it up by this, and it says that Boeing is looking to offload Starliner spacecraft. So I don't think there's a use for the spacecraft itself. I mean, there is, but I don't think NASA wants to own it and uh, refurbish it and stuff. So I take it to read they're trying to get rid of the Starliner unit. Let's see. We're selling a Starliner spacecraft. Troubles mount. There, we got strikes going on too, I believe. Yeah, it is kind of a one-trick pony. I don't think it's able to do the free floating stuff that the Dragon can do, or the Crew Dragon, I should say. Let's see. The CEO's effort to reduce the losses stem the bleeding. However, the report said that the effort by Boeing is an early stage. Yeah, you gotta find a customer. Boeing expected to keep the commercial and military satellite business. Okay. And they also talked with Bezos. Uh, Does Bezos want that? Bezos got his own program. I guess he'd give him a foot in the door if he can do it better than Boeing did. Or is not really a foot in the door, but can make up for some of the tardiness his company has injected into the system. Uh, let's continue reading. Yeah, it's 2 astronauts launched. Oh, they're talking about Bruce and Sunny. Actually, Rich and Sunny. I messed their names up. Uh, yeah, it was Butch and Sunny. Uh, all right, so we'll see what happens with Boeing and Starliner, and then I'll need to load up some articles. So let's get started on that. Pull the notes onto the main screen where I can see them, and come back here. I've actually got them in some sort of an order this week. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I find where I put the numbers. There's a 4 and a 3 and a 5. There's one. Put that over here. Oh, so I had a chance to drive the Cybertruck, and I liked it. But I like this plaid they put me in better, as far as the way it feels and the driving experience, and especially the sightlines. Because my test drive was at sunset, so it was like, and I had to find. I'm sure it'll be better if I spend like a week with it. But the other part of it for me that was difficult was the steering. I too much of my test drive was in FSD, so I never did get fully acclimated to the steering. But I did like how well such a big vehicle could turn, especially compared to both my Model X and the one I'm in for the loaner. The loaner's got the bigger wheels than mine, so that makes it even more different. But I've already done the yoke on mine, so it wasn't that bad. Let's see. So the range extender has been delayed, and it's 20 miles shorter range than was previously anticipated. What I'm hoping that means is that it'll also be smaller than this, and that at some point, perhaps they'll have one battery pack option that just has the right range in it. But we'll see. Uh, I don't think they changed the price at all. But I do believe you still have to put down $2,000 now. 2,000 due today. And so they're pushing it back 6 months and dropping it by 20 miles. 16,000. It was early 2025. Now it's mid 2025. Fred says, previously described Cybertruck as a mistake turned marketing tool for Tesla. At the time, I didn't say it was a failed program on its own because it was too early to say. But it was an error nonetheless. Yeah, they did make some mistakes along the way, but I think they'll be able to pull it out. Not pull out of the program, but pull success out of the mistakes that they did make. Let's see. I don't believe that at all. It's still too early to say that, and I think you'll be fine. Top comment. Cybertruck was supposed to be a showpiece turned into a nightmare. Already in the planning phase, it was noted that the consumption targets cannot be reached, and the car's dimensions were reduced by 5%. I think they could have done it. I do wish it was still a larger size, though. The larger size with all the stuff they had planned to put in there. The battery production failed. The energy density was so low it resulted in only 123 kilowatt hours. I don't want to say that it failed. It didn't do what they expected. That's for sure. Center came as a crush. It was clear it will not be able to save the car. if you need it for towing, you'll want it there. And if you're not towing, by the time that these are in mass deployment, the V4 superchargers will be in deployment. We're talking full 800-volt V4s, not the V3 pluses with the four dispensers. And so they already charge pretty quick, and once they get their full capability, they'll roll out the V4s, and then they'll learn and tweak the software and make them go faster. And then if you're not towing, as long as you've got the vault closed, it's pretty aerodynamic for something so large, and it'll be fine. Let's see. And yes, this extender does take away from payload and from the bed space, which is unfortunate. Elevates the center of gravity. It does, but does it do it appreciably? From where it's located, I don't think it has that much of an effect. Especially if they engineered it to exist. But he has a point there. I don't know that you can say that they had planned too early on for this thing to exist, and for it to still take up all that bed space. Uh, it would be nice if it could fit in the smuggler's booty, but something that's this heavy, uh, it would affect the dynamics if you put it that far behind the rear axles, and putting it that close to the rear bumper also means that it's at risk in a collision. Though I do think that would be a much more useful uh, way to put it in there. It also would affect the center of gravity. It'd be lower, but it'd be way back. Let's not fool ourselves. There'll be comparison drives with the Silverado, and that car comes with EPA of 492 miles. Yes, it does. Cybertruck will surely lose any range test. Yeah, I don't want to say the latest. The latest with the big battery, yes. In addition, Tesla is technically into big problems. The off-road capabilities were not given at first, and they did not manage to adapt the assistance systems and recall. I don't. I'd say it handles off-road as well as one would expect. They've been turning on stuff like the differentials. They've been adding in stuff to make it better. Like they've the tent mode now. You can use it without the tent. It'll level the truck just like on the Rivian. That was not there at first. I guess a couple people went camping and they were sleeping like that, and they said, "Nah, we need this." Blatantly wrong management decision. I will say there were mistakes made. I just cannot say this is a failure. A lot of money and resources have been tied up to bring a car to market that does not even have a great chance in the home market. It cannot be sold somewhere else. That's not even true either. This can totally be sold in Australia and New Zealand, a couple other places, with minimal modifications. And if they can sell the F-150 Lightning in Norway, I don't see much reason this won't be able to be sold there too. They will probably have to make some changes. Hopefully not as drastic as the little 3-inch LCD they had to put in the S and the X in Japan a couple years, but that was weird. They had a little auxiliary display that just what did it have on it? I don't know if it was like the fender cams that they have on, or the fender mirrors they have on some of the cars there, or if it was. I don't know what they were displaying on it because you can already pull the camera up and leave it up on the Legacy S and X. That's enough about that. We'll wait till some more goes on. Oh, I missed this one. We'll go there next. Nevada approves massive new lithium mine. Absolutely wild Hyundai RN24 concept. Here's still the show. That one I didn't put in. Basically, they stripped a Hyundai Ioniq and they were smoking tires around the track. We will get into Scout. But first, let's look at the Model Y. This was not on my list either. New Model Y vehicles with design refresh spotted in China. So I guess they're going to roll them out in China first again. Maybe? They're gonna have to do a worldwide simultaneous release on this one if they don't want any Osborning. I'm sure they could manage either way, but they don't have the element of somewhat surprise like they did with Island. So yeah, it's got new headlights for sure. The rear has been retouched. It's easy enough to put the old wheels on it if they're compatible. Tesla shut down. Tesla has shut. Does rumor down. I'm not sure what that typo is going to be. Musk said that Tesla doesn't plan to refresh the Y this year. You've got one more month. They can hold it out for November, December. At least get them staged. Sure enough, spotted Model Y prototypes around California this summer. Supply chain reports from China suggested production will start in Q1. That holds completely true. And sure enough, several Model Ys camouflage was spotted in China. Is this the Juniper? Maybe. Camouflage suggests the new Y is expected to feature new front and back end designs. Yeah. Top comment says, I must say, after reading the whole article, I learned nothing new. We knew last year the Model Y refresh is coming. We knew it was going to happen 1 year after the Model 3. And most of the updates will include the same improvements that the 3 received. Yeah, I think they could go further, though. Because you've got not just the 3 refresh, you've got Cybertruck and its learnings are out. You've got the stuff they're getting ready for with the cabs. I'm not expecting anything major, but there could be some under the hood stuff that they're just ready to put in there at this time as a refresh. And it may just be for them, make stuff cheaper to build, or maybe stuff that we could use as well. Ventilated seats, yeah, expect that. Sure, there's a front and back refresh that does not affect the existing production line. Yeah. Tesla will sell current vehicles to hit 515,000 vehicles sold in Q4, maybe. And this will hopefully clear the inventory of Model Y refresh later. Yeah, I totally see them doing that, though. It's just drawing down the Model Y inventory, giving us incentives and such. But like we keep saying, get the one you want when it's there at the price you want and can afford. Because the price could go up, or they can do something just ridiculous that makes it so that the one you want is no longer available because it got so popular people bought it before you did. Or like my intro to the brand. I wanted Model S40. One paycheck away. It was like midweek. Elon said nobody wants the Model S40. Paycheck was coming on a Friday. It took too long. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think the commenter's right on that. There's not much here. All right, so let's go on to let's talk about North Dakota, of all places. Their famous minot that gets some crazy lows in the wintertime. So North Dakota is ramping up their EV charging. Their North Dakota Department of Transportation has announced that there's a funding opportunity for DC fast chargers in 16 communities, and they've been issued, or they will distribute $1.2 million, and they're looking for charging infrastructure will be privately owned, and the ATC MTD program funds will pay for 50% of the projects. Excuse me. Operations and maintenance aren't eligible for reimbursement, which is fine. The DC fast chargers that projects that receive funding in this program must have a minimum of 250 kilowatt ports, and the applicants are encouraged to submit applications requesting funding for 4 ports. So we can ask for 2, but that sounds like they're going to be looking more at the 4 and up ports. Applications are due December 16th, and decisions will be announced 90 days later. These communities are being considered: Williston, Watford City, Stanley, Kenmare, why not? Cole Harbor, Bowman, Linton, Ellendale, Wapiton, Grafton, Devil's Lake, Petersburg, Carrington, Harvey, and Rugby. Let's see what the comments say about this. 800,000 residents in North Dakota, more than I thought, but it shouldn't take too many chargers to dramatically improve the network. This is probably true as well. Being South Dakotan, I'm more familiar with ours, and they're pretty darn good for what I've needed to use. And there once, and it's beautiful. Right, let's see. All right, let's move on to what I labeled as number 2, and this also checks if there's any Ann friends in the room. Nope. Okay. Let's go to. Oh, that was number 2. Let's go to number 3. It's 5. 3 is some more fun news. Let's close these extras. Tesla is working on an Apple Watch app for reverse, actually, smart summon. AKA Elon called it Banish. I like that one. They used to call it Park Seek, which was generic. Banish is kind of cool. Recently decompiled is Tesla's iOS app version 44.38.0 by Tesla app iOS reveals the intriguing changes, including a new API endpoints, assets, and framework updates. Among the new changes are API endpoints to expanded functionality, including commands related to energy management and a feature labeled Intelligent Assistance, which seems geared to generating suggestions and forms for users within the app. Interesting. The app also adds new. Oh, I got a text from my Tesla expert. Moisture can get in the pack over the years. One of the module's voltage sense boards are very susceptible to it, even the tiniest moisture. Your refurb pack will have new vents. Awesome. All right. I'll get back to you guys. Oh, clicking on too much stuff here. And check solar while I'm clicking on too much stuff. Got 85 watts coming in. It's kind of like a cloudy day. All right, so the app also has new visual effects such as the nighttime solar images, a tone slider, and a top-down view of Cybertruck. Oh, that's kind of cool. I wonder what they use that for. The graphics hint at possible enhancements in Tesla's energy displays and further integration of the Cybertruck, which is nearing launch. Launch of Cybertruck. But Cybertruck power share is getting more robust. Probably the one that actually works with the power walls. Framework adjustments include the introduction of Firebase Analytics and Google App Measurement, along with support for iOS 18. And there's working on a native Apple Watch app, as promised by Elon, with reverse actual smart summon is coming, such as noting where the car is parked and updating while looking for parking. Interesting. The compiled update provides insight into what may come. It remains unclear when these features will be officially released or activated. All right, let's move on to number 4. Next week, not only will I have the pictures, but I will have them in order. All right, so this next one is about Rivian. It's not good news for them, unfortunately. Nothing bad about the car, but the manufacturer is having some struggles right now. So, EV maker Rivian, despite having only one factory and around 8,000 staff, has racked up more initial serious OSHA safety violations, than any other automaker since the start of last year, including all the smack they talk about Tesla. I haven't done my factory tour, so I can't say how much of it is just extra scrutiny and how much of it is legit. This is intriguing right here, and I don't know how much of it is because they're new, and how much is they might also be under the magnifying glass like Tesla. Let's see. Since the start of last year, unpaywall link to our investigation. Yeah, we'll go there for sure because I can't afford all these subscriptions. Rivian says as part of the settlements, all of the violations, settlements of almost all of the violations OSHA had labeled as serious ended up being downgraded or dismissed. But former OSHA leaders say initial citations reveal more about the workplace hazard. Yeah, because just because you come to an agreement on how to take care of it doesn't mean they didn't happen. And let's see. Workers need to be equal part of the equation, just as valuable, not disposable. Fair and equal representation. Yeah, I'll give you a heart for that. Jesus, is it really that hard to keep workers safe? Let's read the article. Uh, should post the number of violations versus total firm and power and plant output. Yeah. What more do you want from an article that's paid that they give you for free? This is the Rivian van we're looking at. The windshield. Fun fact: this one is too tall to fit through the building, so it spends a lot of its life doing skateboard tricks. Oh, cracked skull, fractured bones, reveal danger for Rivian's factory workers. Yeah. Foot fracture, back laceration so severe it requires surgery, and an amputated finger. Goodness gracious. It looks like Monica picked up a dollhouse on her walk today. Interesting. Let's see. They received citations for 16 serious violations in the past 21 months. Toyota, Honda, Volvo, Nissan, General Motors, Ford each received no more than 10. So did Tesla get more than 10? I noticed they weren't in the list. uh, okay, there we go. Fellow EV maker Tesla and Chrysler, oh, Stellantis, both with much larger workforces than Rivian, also received fewer initial citations. But unlike Rivian, Tesla also got 3 repeat violations, which carry heavier penalties. And Stellantis received 2. Okay, so Rivian had the most over everybody else who makes here. Tesla and Stellantis got less than Rivian, but they had 2 repeats at Stellantis and 3 at Tesla, so it puts them in a different group for like you did the study, you did the how to mitigate this, and yet it happened again. Why did the mitigations not work? So is it 2 repeats? Like it happened 2 more times, or there were 2 of the same one? So it happened 3 times at Stellantis, 4 times at Tesla is the way I'm reading it. And yeah, that's if it was 3 total, it's not good, but it just means that you can tweak your mitigations. But if it happened 4 times, that that does look bad in front of the government. Let's see. Rivian says its record compares favorably with other manufacturers. The health and safety of everyone at Rivian is our top priority. We're proud of our safety record, which continues to improve year over year. The company said in a statement. The government disagrees, apparently. I really like this view. Let's see. A money losing company that struggled to put in place procedures, equipment, and training required to keep the employees safe. The alleged safety shortfalls come as the company ramps up production of delivery vans for Amazon and $100,000 luxury SUVs for popular celebrities, including Ben Affleck and Tim. Why? Yes, they are 100,000, but that's not that far off from everything else. And they are, I don't know that you call them luxury. They're definitely premium, just like Tesla is. And the battery's not free. And the smaller you are, the harder it is to ramp those batteries to getting cheaper. They did good work with the Gen 2, and the R2 I think is really going to be where they hit their stride if they make it that far, which they should if they're careful. Uh, all these little value judgments, like oh, it's a rich man's car. They have to start someplace where they can people can afford the car. and then they can use that to make the volume and bring it down. A little snippy when they write it like that. It's quite annoying. The volume of complaints, citations, and serious injuries at the Rivian plant are all red flags, says Deborah Berkowitz, who reviewed the records at Bloomberg's request. She served as OSHA's chief of staff under President Obama and is now a fellow at the Kamalorovitz Institute. Initiative. Man, my wife is like running some bleach right outside my door, and it's distracting. Let's see. No peer received more initial citations than Rivian. Wow. And isn't this what that guy was asking for in the tweet? He could have read it in the free article. 16 versus 0 at BMW, Hyundai, Lucid, Benz, and Subaru. Congrats to those guys. 1 for Honda. Ford was next at 10. Toyota at 9. Tesla at 8, but 3 repeats. So I put them at 11. And Stellantis at 8, but 2 repeats. We give them 10. Interesting. But after them, it dropped way down to Mazda, Toyota at least, giving them 4. So really, you could say Toyota got 12, or sorry, yeah, 13, which is still less than Rivian. Volvo. I saw a bunch of Volvo EVs getting delivered yesterday. That was fun. 4 at Volvo, 3 at GM. With all their unions, they should definitely want to keep that low. Nissan at 2. Interviews with employees eliminate the hazards at the factory in Normal, a university town with some 50,000 residents and 130 miles southwest of Chicago. Here, Addison's Zulazik. She said she joined Rivian in 2023 and is thrilled with the opportunity to get into high-tech manufacturing and earn enough money to move out of the family home and into her own place. At Rivian, she was assigned to the paint room for about $23 an hour in benefits, spraying vehicles 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. She says her protection consisted of a polyester suit, rubber gloves, and plastic goggles. I didn't see respirator on that list. Within weeks, she complained to the line leader of dizziness. Soon she was also experiencing nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea led to weight loss, frequently having to leave her workstation to go to the bathroom. She suspected that paint fumes were to blame for her symptoms, and she asked the supervisor for a respirator. Okay, so yeah, there wasn't a respirator listed. After she saw her colleagues wearing them, her request was denied. Why would you, if the person's in the paint booth, a respirator should be standard. And if they ask, for some reason they're not standard, they ask, you should give it to them. They're aerosolized chemicals. No matter how good the air system is in the paint booth, and your paint booth came from Mitsubishi, so it's used. You may have rehabbed it, but they say that was uncomfortable. They said that was uncomfortable and hot, and I'd prefer an N95 mask. An N95 mask does not protect you against painting. You can get N95 cartridges for your respirator if you want. That's different. But you would want respirator cartridges that might have N95 filtering with the correct chemical properties to match what you're spraying in there. That's unacceptable. By September, she'd seen doctors and her symptoms about her symptoms, including that she was having blue-tinged vomit. Rivian provided a respirator for her for the next month, and said that she said, and then for her other colleagues who weren't previously issued one. That is horrible. That is mismanagement, and I'm glad they did the right thing eventually, and I hope there were hope there were punishments for that. That is unacceptable. As the tweet said, these people are key. She filed a complaint with OSHA about the lack of respirator as well as other items or other issues, but it was dismissed after the company said in a rebuttal that it found allegations to be factually and legally incorrect. That sounds like the lawyers doing their thing there. According to documents seen by Bloomberg, she is continuing to seek treatment from specialists, and she says she has consulted attorneys about whether she might have a legal case to seek compensation from the company. Rivian declined to comment on specific workers' experiences and ongoing legal cases. Experience says citing privacy requirements. We provide all necessary safety equipment, including respirators. Well, the company said in an email. Yeah, so now you provide respirators if necessary. So the definition of necessary was either misinterpreted or somehow did not apply in that case. Um, if you're ever in this situation, definitely contact OSHA and some attorneys and buy your own PPE. It's not worth getting damaged for them. I'd much rather them have to reimburse me for a respirator than risk my life for them. Its own reports, Labor Department, Rivian has recorded significant injuries to its workers. In 2023, an employee working at the paint shop's entrance suffered a lower back laceration that required hospitalization. 2 months later, an employee working on an electric delivery van suffered a finger amputation when struck by a control handle. I'm guessing controls to the assembly equipment. If it was something on the car, then we would have some of these in the customers too. The next month, the worker's skull was fractured when they hit their head on and fell. I figured that was a fall. Because if it wasn't a fall, there would have been way more. It would not have been pretty in the news. They would not have been able to hide that if it was not a fall. Then they're talking about the EV industry. Skip all that just because we are dealing with just a regular old news organization that's not very EV friendly. Forklifts have been a problem everywhere, always. Forklifts were involved in several safety issues, including in September of 23. Rivian reports to OSHA. Rivian reports to OSHA show one worker driving a forklift suffered foot fractures from contact with a structure. So that sounds like he hit something, and his foot was either like in the collision, or I don't imagine he was driving his foot out of the, or she with the foot out of the cab. So maybe just the way the thing was built when it collided, it just couldn't. They aren't built for much crash safety. Forklifts are hard and dangerous. Let me move these over so I can see when somebody's in the room. Every employer needs to understand the real consequences of unsafe work environments, says Jim Frederick, OSHA deputy. Every worker has a right to a safe workplace. I agree. Some employees are concerned that safety is only likely to get worse as Rivian expands hiring. That's a possibility. I thought they were going to say at the new plant. The new plant, it should be better because you're not inheriting any legacy baggage from the Mitsubishi plant, or in the case of Tesla, the GM and Toyota plant. But you have to be on your toes, make sure it's ready to go. As far as putting more people in the existing plant, yes, there's a chance that adding more people will just make more of these problems. The worker with the paint fumes were sickening her shared medical documents in Bloomberg that showed her complaints to doctors. She was eventually transferred from the spray booth to a role wiping down vehicles at the end of the assembly process. There she says she was asked to climb on top of a vehicle while it was still on the production line, known as the skids, to clean more thoroughly. I see so many ways to go wrong. Hopefully she's not the skull fracture too. There is nothing wrong with putting somebody on top of a vehicle while it's on the assembly line and moving, but the ways to make that safe are but not easy. So you're gonna need uh, probably some sort of safety catch. Um, but she has to be able to get between vehicles, and she's not likely to be hopping from top to top. So you're gonna need it to be able to reach the ground without impeding that. But you're gonna want to watch any falls, and you don't arrest any falls. Um, you want to make sure that it doesn't even come to play in the first place. You're gonna want some sort of like guard system, any training, probably some special boots. Let's see what they say. Uh, there was something in the training we were told not to do. In the training it says just don't get on top of the cars while they're in motion. So that means that they were not ready for it if they said don't do it. So I'm now doubting that there was any safety gear for this at all, other than hopefully a helmet. She says she wasn't involved in the union efforts, so she's not part of the union, so they didn't give her any protection when she worked at Rivian. Though she was acquainted with some of their organizers. I heard stories of people getting their foot crushed and their legs broken. She asked for the request to be put in writing, which she thought would ensure that she would qualify for workers' comp in case of an injury. Instead, she said a manager backed down and told her she'd be responsible for the consequences of poor quality. Definitely mismanagement. RJ, get your people. Sit them down. Stop the line. This is not good. It's not acceptable. Mm-mm. This is your team. You need to protect them. Her employment was terminated next month. According to messages she shared with Bloomberg, the company cited a lack of documentation to justify her absences or illness. Oh, that's just oh. Mm. Get your attorneys on these people. That's not acceptable. Unset. All right, so I'm going to share the share link with you guys so you can read the full details, and then we will go. Oh, I closed the tweet already. I'll click it again. I'll just share the tweet with you. That's probably better anyway. Uh, put that in YouTube chat, and then we'll find me on X, and we'll put it in the X chat because I also closed the X window. I don't open a new tab. Just open it here, here, there. Okay. No, I don't want to just tweet it out in general. I want it in the chat for this video. Sergio says, I am in competition with EC Zabroni for Turo Chronicles. My guest dropped off this Model 3 today with a few bullet holes and broken glass and blood. Wowzers. There's a bullet lodged in the third light housing. Wild. Uh, Sergio, your people are involved in something. Be careful. Elon's talking about trust those who return the shopping cart. Generally, yeah, but you never know what he's referring to. And out of context, it sounds good, but his feed lately. Oh, Earl. No. These are all things I don't want to get to on the show. So, but if you know the Frunk Puppy, ooh, that was a good one. Sergio, though, we can see what's going on here. Called Portsmouth PD, and they want me to bring the car to them. This is so weird. The car has blood, bullet lodged in it, but bring it to us. About to head there. Turo Chronicles. Where did they take it? Worse, Portsmouth. I see, Portsmouth's out of control. I don't live there and never would. The mayor and other officials have lost control. Straight transport. Wow. Nothing exciting, yeah. Oh, he's looking through the car's footage. Oh, you know what? Although, unless it had a reason to save something, that would overloop in an hour. It's the most American thing I've seen this month. Congrats. Guns out here. Okay. 25 minutes waiting for Portsmouth PD to come and assist with this. Not sure how long I'll be out here. The EV guy says she got a Cybertruck. So I just got two Cybertrucks. All right, let me move, do I want to move this one? Yeah, I want to move this one over to you guys so you can see it. It's not that bad. Move it over to the root in. And then I will open up our stream and I'll share the link to the tweet so you can get the gifted article. I should got Cybertruck. I got two. They just drop it off and not say a thing, like nothing happened. They'll never know. If the car's got bullet holes in it, that's pretty obvious. She said there was a little issue. I got shot at. What? Oh. Anything good on the dash cams? Still scrolling. Oh, Portsmouth, Virginia. Okay, I was thinking Portsmouth, Oregon. Yeah, Portsmouth, Virginia. I can see it. Although it does also register in Oregon. That's why I didn't put two and two together. But I would be more. I'm familiar with Portsmouth, Virginia. So I get to deal with this. Trying to figure out the best way to legally rent my car to rideshare drivers I already know personally and trust. What's the best way to structure it? That's pretty cool right there. I think that might be a better deal than letting strangers drive your car. Friend's Model 3 is likely totaled on a Turo trip by an unlicensed driver in New York City. What? The person hit a bus and abandoned the car, stole the USB drive with the dashcam footage. He's still waiting to see if it's totaled at the body shop right now. Lucky your car isn't as bad as my friend's. So at this point, though, what do you guys think? I would want to consider. I've got a Raspberry Pi project I sometimes run where the car will upload its dashcam footage directly to my server back here. Would it not be reasonable? Oh, as soon as you crash it, the door opens. The glove box opens. But would it not be reasonable to have that same project, put it on the batteries? That way, if it gets disconnected from the car or whatever, it'll still work. So get like a little bitty Pi battery that can take the heat, and then put a cheap cellular modem in it, and then put that same project on it and have it linked to your server as a write only. Because if somebody's smart and they take this thing out and they don't want them to have credentials into your network and be able to delete the footage from all of your server, but have that in there and just have it constantly streaming back. That can get expensive. Uh, I guess you'd also want to have it set up so it doesn't mind using free Wi-Fi. Just grab all the free Wi-Fi it goes past. Cellular for the rest. It's a business expense no matter what. And I still think that would be cheaper than an aftermarket dash cam with a webcam or with a cellular modem. I think I'm onto something with this. Not that I'm gonna Turo anything anytime soon, but that is something right there. Let me write this down before I forget. Mm. Mm. Make a Tesla cam Pi modem and backup battery. Like that'd be useful. Through rideshare and Turo. Actually, Sergio would be perfect to test this with. So I will contact him after I figure out how I'm going to work this, and if he's got a place to store the video, because I will not host the video. But that's not to say that I couldn't say, here's a sample computer and a sample Pi. You pay the cellular bill. Let's see what happens. We're on to something here. Okay, let's get back to the show. That sucks for your friend. Let's look at these pictures real quick. Wow, they ran headfirst into something. Oh, the bus. He ran first into a bus. Yesterday, I ran into a guy who his headlight failed on his Model 3, and they wanted him to pay for it, which makes sense. But they were going to give him another one for free because they were going to upgrade him to the global headlights with the Matrix. And I was like, dude, do it. He said, no, I'll just buy a new Tesla. Like, oh, that's one way to do it. Yeah, so that's one way to do it. But he said, yeah, Tesla will pay for it because their car. Perfectly true. How did it end up doing what it did when I just tried to close out the pictures? Crossfire. So many horrible stories with Turo. Why people keep renting them out. Clearly, renters on Turo can't be trusted with a trash can, let alone a Tesla. This is just rentals in general. People are the worst. I'm on the fence. I love the idea of extra income, but having to deal with stuff. See, don't put your main car on there or any car that you love. So just standard run of the mill car, no problem. But if you've got like something that's special to you, don't do it. Yeah, good point. Let's see. I'll use the test this for bank robberies. This might only Turo the Cybertruck. I think that's actually going to be worse as we get more Cybertruck Turos. Another Turo winter for the win. They're not all bad. Yeah. Okay, so let's get you guys the link to the free Rivian article. And then we'll check and see if Sergio has any more updates, and we will continue on our regularly scheduled program. I'm so glad the way this thing looks now. It was looking like trash for like 3 weeks in a row. I thank Andrews for pointing that out. Let's see. It's like my 392 being stolen when the renter had to go buy some drugs in East Dallas. Jim Farley and Elon Musk accelerating EV adoption. Oh, it's a pinned. We've probably already heard that. So the police station was the last update on that. Gotta keep an eye on it, I suppose. All right, let's close the Bloomberg article and get back to, what are we on, number 4? Let's go to number 5. Excuse me. 5. Tesla's being sued for the We Robot event. The folks over at Blade Runner 2049 didn't like it. I'm sure they were flattered, but they have beef with Elon because of his content lately. Film's producers said Musk's behavior veers towards hate speech, which was part of the reason why they denied Tesla the usage rights. Uh, if they asked ahead of time and were told no and did it anyway, that's veering towards his new buddy's tactic of just using people's music even though they don't like him and told him no. Um, so if that's the case, yeah, he totally did jump onto that ship. Uh, but I bet you if somebody used FSD for Uber, like the robotaxi as is Uber, then he'd have all kinds of problems with it because it's already in the agreement that you won't use it on third party networks. The robotaxi, not necessarily that you can't Uber your Tesla. If you're in the car, you can do whatever you want. I just touched something sticky. Oh, I see. This is cranberry juice, and there was a bit that splashed out over the edge. So yes, I did touch something sticky. Let's see. Attendees of the We Robot event were Hopton's robotaxi prototypes at Warner Brothers, and they were greeted by a giant screen festooned with futuristic animations and illustrations. One of the illustrations was inspired by 2017 sci-fi flick Blade Runner 2049, itself a sequel to the 1982. I was going to say, why can't they say that it was the original Blade Runner if the new guy is telling him no? Both sides is influential to Elon's. Okay, so maybe it was just too much like the new one and not enough like the old one. Both the producers of the sequel, but the producers of the sequel aren't having any of it. They're now suing Tesla for copyright infringement for using Blade Runner inspired visualizations to promote the self-driving cybercab. This one might be harder for them to do because if it's inspired by, then it's still a fair use. But if it's a copy, then it's a little harder. But there were some Blade Runner cars there. If they were the new Blade Runner, that could be a problem. If they were the original Blade Runner, then no. Let's see. It's a grim future grappling with climate crisis and off-world expansion, as well as the many moral and ethical questions surrounding developing an android-like race of beings used as a disposable labor. Tesla did not use exact images from the film, but used AI tools to create near identical images. Okay, so that's the problem. But according to Alcon, is a bad faith and intentionally malicious gambit. Yeah, so it's not inspired by. It is a make the computer make the same thing. It could be months or even years before any verdict comes out of this case. Yeah, hopefully they settle and come up with some agreement before then. It's another controversial element in Musk's robotaxi ambitions. As it is, the robotaxi reveal was light on technical details and was mostly a concept showcase. Fair enough. The car itself looks cool with butterfly doors, smooth surfacing, and a compact footprint. But the event was more bling than substance. Tesla didn't tell us how the underlying FSD technology would obtain regulatory approval or how it would be safe for passengers in various driving conditions. All we know is that the robotaxi will feature wireless charging, and the prototypes didn't have charging at all. And Tesla is going to achieve an efficiency of 5.5 miles per kilowatt hour to obtain about 200 miles of range from a small battery. They didn't even suggest all that. Folks have deduced that from looking at the charging screen, and I guess maybe the folks there might have seen something on the screens, but that could easily be mocked up. Well, over the looks of the vehicle is the use of the scenes that look like scenes from the movie. Yeah, that's what they said in the article. After they denied permissions to use scenes from the movie. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I know you think Musk can do no wrong, but even he must follow IP laws. Yeah. It's a nonsense lawsuit by Whoop Nut Chop seeking stealing over milk toast comments that Musk says on Twitter. I think you're both wrong on that. It's somewhere in the middle of that. But yeah, everybody has to follow IP laws. Guess what? It's not illegal to use prior art in the creation of new art. It depends. It totally depends. I don't think that the rest of that conversation will go any better, so we're not going to get into 11. We're going to next go on to. That's 5. Do I have a 6? I mean, I know I do, but do we have one slated as 6? Or is it time to go to the top and work our way down? 4. Yeah. So next week, don't break down and have a chance to put them all in order. There is a 6. So we go from like bad news, Debbie Downer. Let's go to some good news. And I don't really have anything to show for you there, so let's type it into the chat, so you can follow along with me if you are interested. Me? Are you serious? My copy paste is broken again. This browser, I don't know what likes to snatch the focus for the keyboard away. Copy, send, and we'll put that over here, and we'll send it. And why am I sending you my referral link? Because. Fine, paste it in here. See what I care. There's been some changes to the referral program. Kacey gave you $1,000, up to $1,000 off a new Tesla. Model Y is showing. Is that $500 off? Yep. Model 3, definitely $500 off. Model X, $1,000 off. Model S, $1,000 off. All right, wait for it. It doesn't stop there this time. Cybertruck, $1,000 off. You can get it for $78,990 for the dual motor, and they have FSD transfers. And they have an inventory program as well. This is looking sharp. So you get $1,000 off Cybertruck, and what else about that? I get something. I don't know what I get out of it, but I get to give you $1,000. So I like that part. FSD transfer on Cybertruck. What else? They've got so many programs running right now. It's hard for me to keep track. Okay, so Cybertruck's not yet unused. Yeah. So I can only give 10 of these. So the first 10 people can get this, and the rest of you will have to use somebody else's code after that, because I don't want you to lose out on it. So if you want me to tell you who next, aside from Mark and Patrick, if they get used up as well, I'll get you some people. Just hit me a DM. And let's continue on. That was the good news there. So I don't think I have a 7. I didn't see a 7, and that was one of the last ones there. Let's go to the top. This one is a Sawyer post about the EU's 5 biggest members have spent over $45 billion annually subsidizing fossil fuel company cars, according to a new study. And that's not good. Let's see some EVs on that list. It's concerning that EU governments are still heavily subsidizing fossil fuel vehicles. The money could be spent better spent on investing in electric vehicles and infrastructure and promoting sustainable transportation. Yes, absolutely. I think part of this is that they don't have to teach anybody anything about gas cars. Just it's what they've always been doing. Do the maintenance, fill them with gas. They're cheap. keep on rolling. It's worth the effort to make sure your people have and know how to use EVs, and the charging is fine all over Europe. So I do get if you have some folks that live in multifamily dwellings that don't have charging, you can assist them with that, or get them hybrids or something. I don't know, but this is disappointing. Then we've got inside EVs and let's call it FAFO. F around and find out. Got a guy who wants to shoot his Cybertruck. Results are predictable. Uh, so here you can see some screenshots. This guy shoots the tailgate of the Cybertruck, and no, there was no ricochet or anything like that. Nobody was injured. It does look like that in the middle. Uh, Dude just got his feelings hurt real bad. So he shot his Cybertruck brand new, and the bullet went through the tailgate. This dude spent over $100,000 on the truck, and he's now regretting the consequences of the choices of his actions. Hang on, Mojo just woke up. Baby. Yeah. Huh? Down. You don't want to say hi? Okay. Well, she doesn't want to say hi. Have a hug? Okay. Go have fun. Don't fall. You want a bear? You want a bear? Okay. You got it? She's really grumpy when she wakes up. Her stroller was in the way. She was getting ready to fight it. Then she managed to squeeze on past. Okay, so yeah, at the end, the guy is like regretting his choices in life. Let's go over to Inside TVs and take a look. Do we want to watch the video? We'll watch the video. We'll mute it though. I don't think it's bulletproof at the end when it pauses. These things happen. It was a moment of genius by Leon to realize that there was a massive market in. Oh, I'm talking about Elon. To realize there's a massive market in North America for a land yacht that also doubled as an armored car. For the rest of the world, it's not really. It's just like we were talking about with Canada. It's not an armored car. It is slightly bullet resistant in the doors, and the doors alone, not the hood, the tailgate, or the glass, and only to 9 millimeters. So if you need a bulletproof car, that ain't it, Chief. The car is not impervious to the vast amounts of supersonic ammunition in circulation there. Yeah, laugh so you cry. It really is a portion of our citizenry that's ignorant and paranoid. This is true. I live one of the few, if only, cities that doesn't have a continually lowering crime rate, thanks to some poor policy choices based off misinterpretation of catchy three-word chants. Oh, so just a fraction of the Second Amendment, as if it were a Bible verse that you skip around like you're a ransom note writer and take 8 words from 3 different books, make a sentence that says what you want it to say. Uh, As I can't say that we didn't have some features like that. It was oof. And I lock my doors at night too. There's not really a problem except in our heads. There's a big problem there. Yes. Uh, the reason you only ever saw a Tesla shoot the side of the Cybertruck. Duh. Uh, Betting the hood ain't bullet resistant either. Correct. I bet the hood is actually some of the thinnest metal next to that tailgate. Cybertruck has crumple zones. The crumple zones you asked for. And before you ask, no, Tesla never guaranteed that the Cybertruck is bulletproof. Exactly. And no, my interest is in long-term durability. Yes, because stainless steel does last pretty well. Exposed stainless is quite possibly the worst material someone could have used for exterior body panels on a car. We've used other stuff in the past, so we will see how well this thing lasts. All right, so next up, after the regrets, I had a few. Let's go to this one. I simply labeled battery leasing again. In this case, Hyundai. Their Casper EV undercuts gas-powered rivals with a new battery lease plan. It's coming from electric, so we will kind of click on through and see what's happening there. Cute little EVs. We'll see if anybody wants to lease their batteries. It hasn't worked out that well in the States, but we've seen it happen a few times worldwide, and I haven't been tracking how well it's been working there. After introducing a battery care lease plan in Korea, Casper EVs rivals the gas-powered models in its class. That's pretty cool. So $20,000 or 27.4 million won, Korean won, I should say, launched last week. The Casper Electric Premium can be bought for $8,000 with incentives. So just 10 million won. That's really darn cool. So what's that? Less than half the price of the competitors? Yes, less than half the price of the competitors. If you don't buy your battery. Hyundai is making it even more affordable. Oh, this is before the battery lease. So after incentives, it's $8,000. That is really cool. That's really cool. However, Hyundai is going to make it even more affordable. After introducing a new battery care lease plan in August, Hyundai announced that over 50% of the Casper Electric lease customers used the new vehicle. That was awkwardly constructed. The program was created with LG BES to lower the threshold for drivers to go electric. By estimating the average lifespan of Casper electric models to be 10 years, Hyundai covers the remaining value through advanced purchases. So it's literally just a lease. That's interesting. So do you have to pay it all up if you trade the car or sell it? Or they're not going to just forgive the rest of the money they're waiting on? I mean, they might for like an incentive program or something, but if you keep the car the whole 10 years, it doesn't matter. Assuming the battery lasts that long. But if you're leasing it, that also means they have to make the battery last that long, right? You would think. I would consult a lawyer. Don't trust me on that. Especially not in South Korea. The Hyundai Capital app, drivers can check their vehicle's battery status, driving and charging habits, and more. You can baby a battery for 6 years and still have it die on you. Of course, mine didn't actually die; it just rusted to death. But aluminum doesn't rust. Yes, it does. Just not that iron ferrous mess. And actually, I think it was the copper that did it, based on what he was explaining to me. But copper doesn't rust. Oh, yes, it does. That nice green goo. The patina. Adding plans to add new products in the future. After launching the battery plan, Hyundai said that the Casper EV would be leased for around $200 per month. That's not bad. That's cheaper than the gas-powered 1T Inspiration. And that 1.0T is probably 1 liter turbo. So you're going to have something that's a lot more zippy and reliable and fun to drive. and of course, better for the environment, not spewing out carcinogens and asthma uh, promoters. And if you buy it outright without any of these programs from the government or any of these lease specials, you're looking at 20,000, which is still not terrible. A little Spartan, but I like it. I could work that. The left side there, where I put my hand, looks like it'd be hella uncomfortable, and it might give me some problems with my left thigh. It's a cute little car, little accent. I hope that's all like a customizable light, like on the Highland and the model Cybertruck, where you can you pick if you want purple or green or whatever. That purple doesn't look bad though, if that's the color. In Europe, it's known as the Hyundai Inster EV and has a WLTP of 221 miles or 355 kilometers. And Hyundai's mini electric SUV starts at $30,000 overseas. So that's probably $10,000 of tariffs. Unfortunately, Hyundai is not planning to bring the low-cost EV to the US. However, recently launched a new ultra-fast 13-month lease on the 2024 Ioniq 5. The reasons not to bring it to the US, with the tariffs, they will probably not be able to sell it as cheaply as possible. And I'm guessing that the ran over my headphone cable. I gotta do it again to get it back. I'm guessing that the new Georgia plant does not have the capacity to deal with this right now profitably. But if they could bring that here, even though this is the land of SUVs and trucks, I think that they would do well with it because if you could have a brand new EV for $20,000 to $30,000, there's people who want that. And this is already a mini SUV. I think it will do quite well. The question is, can they do it affordably? Because you got to get all the suppliers together, and you got to make sure you've done your crash testing, your warranty work, etc., etc., etc. So Hyundai might not find it to be something they can do. Those analog gauges, or are they video screens? They look like analog gauges. And to look like that with that quality center screen, I don't think that they are a screen. But they just got it at the perfect angle because they would look different if they were digital based on that center screen. Kudos to them. Anybody out there in Europe or Korea gets this car, let us know how it is. Did those two already. Next up, we got one from Drive Tesla Canada regarding the Mustang Mach-E. It gets some new features. Let's take a look. We get the Mustang Mach-E with a heat pump and other features for less money. Let's click in and see what's going on there. And while that loads, let's see if they answered any of it in the comments. Musk needs to get his stuff together. The 3X, S, and Y need to be competitive again. They're good, but I see where he's coming from. They could be better. Just need to get the NACS connector natively into the car and in the correct spot. Indeed. Expect less FSD may be degraded due to bad weather messages and chimes in 12.5.6.2. So what's going on that one is we'll be fixing the upcoming release next week. Okay, so expect another release of FSD this week. And what they're referring to is they introduced the message about how FSD may be degraded due to weather or any of the other nags it gives us to be alert. On some cars, they've been firing every minute. That's annoying. And it's fixed. The message is still there, but it's not going to beep at you constantly. Right, so you get a heat pump and other features. Let's take a look. Yeah, heat pump. Heat pump is good, but also a heat network like we see in the Octavalve cars would be really desirable, where you could just extract every little bit of heat, put it or take it put and take it from wherever you need it to go. And yes, they dropped the price by $3,500. That's good. And the refreshed Mach-E has been revealed. The automaker has added a heat pump for the new iteration, which will be standard in all trims. That's good. You don't have to pull a Nissan and get the right one to get the heat pump. Referring to the Nissan Leaf, I am not versed in the area. Let's see. Heat pumps are desired by EV drivers because they cool or heat the cabin more efficiently. That they do, reducing battery consumption and thereby extending the driving range. And that's where, like I said, with the new Teslas with the octavalve, having a heat network is even better because you get that for every component that's making every major heat making component, the computers, the blower valve, the blower fan motor, so on. I was going through the service mode on this Model X 2022, and like the watching what it can do with the heat pump and the chillers and the octavalve, like they're three different screens. They're just like intense. Yeah, that's why these things are getting more efficient. So this one has a much smaller battery than mine because mine charges at 72 amps at home and or at home at this house, and this one only charges at 48 because that's all they offer, and it's only 30 minutes slower from 30% than mine is from zero to full, and it has so many more miles despite having the bigger wheels and the plaid package. So I've got two motors. It's got three, and I've got the 20s and it's got 22s, and it's still outclassed mine when it was new, let alone the fact that both of them are old now. Because this is a 2022 with, let me see how many miles this thing's got on it. I guess I could have done it easier from the computer. Because I still want to check and see which computers it's got in it. I'm pretty sure it's hardware 4. Mhm. Yeah, it's got 44,000 miles on it. That plaid's been cooking. Let me satisfy my curiosity real quick on this computer so I can tell you. I'll reuse this window to there. Sign in. I'm not signed in automatically. Oh, is that a web app I can install? Yeah, let's do that. Oh, that's neat. First, let's read those release notes before I click that, though. Oh, it's gone. It's a web app now. All right, so I'll open it back up. I've got YouTube Music as a web app too. That's cool. This is a completely different. It sees it as an app. I like this. All right, so the car's asleep. 118 degrees Fahrenheit. When that's gonna be my car at 118. 13.9. You get Tesla business support. So if you have a business account, you can use it with Tesla. Firmware alert exports. So you can get a list of all your firmware alerts. I'm going to do that with mine before they clear them. Uh, Controls for iOS Control Center. So just like Tesla's doing with their own app, we get a little more control there. Unlimited pairing on Apple Watch. You can now pair Apple Watch with unlimited vehicles with your watch key. That's cool. And your watch will automatically connect to the last vehicle selected. I don't need a free trial. I got it. So let's close this down and go back to the app. Fine, let's bring the app to where we are. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. I wanted to move the app. Right. It's trying to help me put stuff on the screen, and I don't want their help. They're messing it up. Okay, that's fine. Put it there and leave it alone. Okay, good. Now, this one needs to come back where it was. Stop. I don't know where it went. It's not where it's supposed to be. No, this new app thing. There we go. All right, so okay, this app can access your location, and notifications are blocked. Why would I block notifications? Allow. It's a car management app. If it wants to tell me something, it can. Okay, so that's my car at 118 Fahrenheit at the Orangeburg Superchargers. That was the last time it was able to get a connection. I kept turning off the battery, the 12-volt battery, because I didn't have a DC to DC, and I didn't want to have to try and maneuver it. It's a bear. It was hard enough getting on and off the truck without the power steering. You thought it was tight on an old car. It's tight on these new cars. They expect power steering. Um, so firmware, current time is yesterday at 4 o'clock. So it should know it's at the service center now. All right, so they said um, you can get firmware alert exports. How do I do that? It's JSON. Oh, that's why, because this is telling me like all of my features and stuff. They're fine. I know what the car has. Um, the paint color override. They didn't make the paint have the freckles in it, so I made it shiny. I don't have the free black. I have the obsidian black metallic. All right, so alerts, and here are all of my alerts, and that's just what he said. BMS F 017 brick OV over voltage. I got 2 of those, and then I have another one for under voltage. Where's that? Uh, W107 cell voltage sensor. Uh, TAS A218 limp home mode. It ain't limping anywhere because another one overrode it. Low voltage support failed, so it turned off the DC to DC because the big battery had turned off. The HVAC load was shed. Again, the big battery was dead, so you can't draw your 400 volts for your AC from it. Accessory load shed. Again, anything that would have been powered by the car, gone. Realizing Europe doesn't have French fries, so none of you know what a deep fryer is. What are you on about, Swifty? Let's see. Sorry about that one. That's she says they say some weird stuff sometimes. Well, the concept of sick days is idolatrous capitalism. When we started work in the Netherlands, HR asked how many sick days we get. Or we asked HR how many sick days we get. After a brief, confused look, the reply was all of them. When you're sick, you stay home. When you're well, you work. Dutch law translated reads, if you own a company in the Netherlands and one of your employees becomes ill, you must go on paying them for a maximum of 2 years. Wow. Actually, that plays right back into what we were talking about with Giga Berlin and their absenteeism. But it requires a certain amount of honor. So if you are sick, you are sick. If you aren't sick, you're working. And what the boss at Giga Berlin was suggesting was that these people were being dishonorable, and they weren't actually sick. Somehow the permasurfs have found this post and think they should keep getting paid, even if a deep fryer blinds them at work. This is why we have flying skyscrapers in America. We do have flying skyscrapers in America. Realizing Europe doesn't have French fries, so now you know what a deep fryer is. Okay, I'm sorry, that was totally off topic, but it was catching that last tweet made it. What are we looking at here? Right, so all of these alerts are from the 26th. I've got one whole page of them. And there it is. Low voltage support fail. No, that was the one we already saw. Let's go to page 2. 1 through 20 of 201. Are these active or are these just lately? Gateway W370 not supported. SOC too low. That's why it never reported back after Orangeburg, because my 12 volt was dying. But well, no, you know what though? They had Wi-Fi at Orangeburg, and they have Wi-Fi at Tesla too. But I don't know if the Wi-Fi reaches everywhere in the lot. Uh, yeah, BMS imbalance limiting, so that would probably be between the low bricks and high bricks. A brick over voltage. Uh, DI U014 not okay to drive. So I have a not okay to drive popping up with an okay to drive, and that's exactly how it showed up on the screen to the consumer side of the screen, the driver. Okay, so it gets to page 3 before I start seeing old alerts. 25th hold release required. Um, I guess they wanted me to know that I was in hold mode, but I know I'm in hold mode. Uh, fail support SOC too low. That was one of the first ones to hit. HW line OC. Let me export these. That should come in as a download. Yes. Oh wow, it's my whole VIN number for more alerts, and it's got a date on it. Download, and then we'll deal with that later. But I want to see what this auto steer unavailable. What did I do to get that one? Oh no, that would have been 26 too. I got that one too. I got put in autopilot jail for going too fast. People were being jerks, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to get boxed in, and I drive a P100D. Well, I accelerated out of the situation, but I forgot to turn off cruise first, and autopilot disabled for the rest of this drive. 3 miles to the no, it wasn't even 3 miles. It was like a mile and a half to the supercharger, so it wasn't that bad, but it's still annoying. Give me a car with all this power, and then you just, yeah, you're a bad driver. Auto park aborted. If you didn't suck at auto parking, imbalance limiting. What was the one I wanted to look up? The line OC. Oh, don't copy the service code. Show me what the service code means. Fine, we'll search it. Hi, baby. Are you coming in? Good morning, doctor. She dropped her stethoscope, her laptop, and her purse. Yeah, good. All right, so let's see. Let's finish the Mach-E before I do the search. The heat pump. Um, battery sizes remain the same at 72 and 91 kilowatt hours. Let's turn that down, please. Thank you. And Ford also updated the Blue Cruise by adding automatic lane changing. Drivers can let the car handle a slower moving vehicle, or oh yeah. So this was something I've actually got later in the show. Um, Thank you. Something I've actually got later in the show. We were going to talk about the updates to Blue Cruise, but it's starting to get a little bit of the navigate on autopilot stuff, where it'll change highways and it'll pass slow cars. Huh? Am I going to live?
Baby shark, mama shark, baby shark, and daddy shark, and mommy shark. Hi.
Oh, what's my heart rate? Can't count yet. You can count a little bit. 5, 6, 7, yes. What's after 7?
And 9 and 10.
Yeah, and 8, 9, and 10.
And 7.
And 7.
And 9.
9.
10.
10.
8.
8. How did you get pizza on your stethoscope? Were you checking out the pizza? Hot? Oh. Mommy chicken was cold? Okay. You have your own snacks. Don't touch my snacks. Yeah, you ate your muffin. Let me eat my muffin. It's Daddy's muffin. Oh, M&M. Have you been good? Oh, this. Your. Bring your. You found it. I'll change it for you. Bring your goggles. I'll change it for you. Where'd you put it? Is it in the living room? Okay, bring it, and I'll change it for you. She got her first ViewMaster, but I remember when I was a kid, my cousin and I, we accidentally broke so many of these, so told her we'll change them until she's a little more responsible. Poking out the pictures. So the premium chip fitted with 91 kilowatt hour battery will go 320 miles on a single charge. Not bad. Let's see. The Blue Cruise, like I said, it's getting some of the navigate and autopilot features, and another car too close for comfort in the passing lane, or when a vehicle approaches speedily from the back. However, the driver can take over at any time using the wheeler stalk. That's all of these things. The most exciting change is the price. The lowest trim now starts at $36,495 before incentives, without destination fee. That's $3,500 cheaper than the 2024 version that's on increase in the price. The Canadian pricing has not yet been announced, and that's where we are. So that's not from Darren. That's David. David wrote that. Okay. These are probably old articles. Yep, old. Old and no comments. Let's paste and search for that article. I wonder if this is failure to insert the cable all the way. I did have one of those because Moto didn't seat the cable all the way. Unable to charge but still charging. No, because this was on the 26th, so it would not be that. And I don't often fail to, or I don't often fail to put in the charge cable at the superchargers. And my wiring expected by a Tesla certified technician. Well, that would be the supercharger's wiring. So really the wiring in my battery. So I guess the superchargers pushed it over the edge. Whatever was already just teetering on the edge of life just fried. Could be wiring errors if generated during all the cars pulling max amps. It's definitely pulling max amps in the supercharger. More than my little 100 amps that I give it. Well, 72 amps that it takes. I give it 100 amps because mine's wired for the legacy dual chargers. 40 amps and 40 amps. Have wiring inspected by Tesla certified electrician. The image it posts. Yeah, I never saw that one. The error that it pulled. It's probably one of the ones that flashed. Like the screen was like the number of errors was changing as I was trying to take pictures of them. So, any of these other ones we want to take a look at? Brick over voltage. That's pretty obvious. No VL support, sock too low. LVS. No voltage, low voltage support. Okay. So there's no low voltage for the gateway. So had that been a crash, I would have been one of the cases where it didn't send out the crash footage. Actually, I kind of like the way this thing just copies them to the clipboard, especially for the ones it's not sure of. I know this is less exciting for some, yeah, but I'm nerding out here. Right, brick over voltage. We'll grab that one next because it's a similar code to what he was telling us about the wiring. Um, why is it not clicking? There we go. Same guy, right? Same guy. All right, so this guy just got the error by itself. Let's see if he got something for it. 2018, oh, so 2013, sorry. 85S, rear wheel drive. Enable to charge, disconnect, try again. Interesting. Let's do this one. BMS problem. Car will not start. Yeah, that's how it went. Let's see. Would this be a bad 12 volt? No, it was not a bad 12 volt. My 12 volt was healthy. Is it likely covered under 80 warranty? Yes. I'm considering if I should replace the 12 volt on my own or take it to Tesla service. Do both. They've offered to take the car and issue me a loaner. They knew. 2015 P85D with 112,000 miles. Okay. Car would not present handles today. That would be the 12 volt, but the other part was definitely to the battery. Frunk and trunk would unlock, so I jumped the car. Got it running over some time. Said power would be reduced and service required. Yeah, it said that, but it didn't go anywhere. I think the problem is I had too many hit at once. The car's like, nah. At times, the car would not start, and the car may not restart. I was able to get the car running. Once the MCU was up running again, had the following notifications. Which one was ours? BMS brick. Yesterday, so caution, car may not restart. BMS 035 SW. Wow, he never came back. Here we are, 4 years later. Where'd you go? That was on my birthday. I would log in just to poke him, but it's been 4 years, and it's not. They might not find it as funny. Um, uh, that's not even the one I said. I searched for brick over voltage. The battery management system has detected a high voltage battery cell has experienced an overvoltage event, and it was at like almost 5 volts. It was 4 and change, and the low voltage brick was at almost 2 volts flat. So 2 of them were way too high, and one of them was way too low. You wanted to live in the 3 to 4 volt range, and they were not even close. So let's close that down. Imbalance limiting, I don't think we looked at that one, but we will look at the one that my friend told us about. The one about the wiring, the F107 SW cell voltage sensor. Got a bunch of those. And then we'll continue on. And I'll nerd out the rest of these later. Condensation failure inside battery pack. BMS F107. Failure mode analysis. Who's this? Howard. Inside the battery pack. Note. High voltage can be deadly and dangerous. Yeah, don't do what I do. Mr. Hyde's car with the original post here and here. In 2014, P85D, 67,000 miles, Seattle. No salted roads, rains frequently, but low humidity otherwise. He's the second owner, acquired recently. Car disabled with BMS F107, cell sensor voltage code. Yeah, I got that. Thought it might be a loose voltage sensor wire, but it found the following after pack opening. No evidence of broken seals or water ingress or anywhere the pack cover, lid, front hump, fuse cover. And I imagine that should be the same for mine because they had it out twice, changing the motors. No evidence of coolant leak from any pipe fittings, so no silicate residue or sticky coolant residue anywhere. All umbrella valves looked fine without failed seal. Condensation evidence from modules underneath the hump and first three plus rows of modules from front to rear. Rear 3 rows look fine. Modules large and shiny electrode plates enable easy inspection of any kind of anomaly. Yeah, that's true. 2 patterns were seen. Spore shapes, slightly hazy. White patterns around a few of the cells. This is likely due to corrosive electrolytic release. Oh, these batteries were leaking. Perhaps this is fairly common for 18650 cells. Don't know. The big shiny electrode plate captures the evidence easily, and the 18650 manufacturing process shows electrolyte fill here and here. Not concerned about this. Perhaps occurred early on module plus plastic cover assembly. Okay. Not plastic cover on modules have dime size indents that rest on top of the electrode plates for fitting. These show condensation marks. And my friend was saying this is common, that they get wet and rusty. Long run sections of plastic cover touching electrode plate showed signs of dried water flowing marks. Tiny droplets of dried water, and my car doesn't sit flat when it's parked. It sits nose down, so right into the hump. BMB C26 and 27, revision 1.5 on this car. Later, oh, I can see what my new battery revision is. I wish I knew what the old one was. Let me text service real quick. Oh, I don't have service on this loaner car. Like, where's my communications? So let me go into texts and service for Model X. View the appointment, I guess. And then can I text on the appointment? All right, I got the loaner agreement, sent the ID info. They're both black with red brake calipers, so the only way I can tell is the wheels in the app and the name. But if I'm lower in the app, then it's just the wheels. Text. Hey, not hey. Please note current battery revision. And have the new one, please. For my curiosity. And if you could snag any photos. Any photos of the old one. And empty bottom of the car. Before fitting the new one. That would be very appreciated, please. Thank you. Hopefully they remember this in a week when the battery pack gets here at the earliest. And then I have mobile service on Tuesday. It'll be very easy for them to get there from the shop. dude, here I am. Although without a low voltage battery, it'll be very hard for them to do the work because the low voltage battery was at 30% when we parked it. All right, so anyway, uh, solder pins on module 9 upside down mounted compared to the rest. Show corrosion. There are two potential failure mechanisms. Conformal coating. Oh, so the gel, the spray they put on the circuit boards wasn't thick enough or it failed. Conformal coating is likely sprayed on and sidewalls and caps of the vertically standing solder pins should have weak or no coating layer. Okay. Also, potentially conformal coating was rubbed off from contact and vibration, so just over years, and it just rubbed off. I get that. Or condensation formed there and then just corroded, just ate through the conformal coating. Because even though it's water resistant, it also is not waterproof. Condensation patterns around the failure mechanism. Let's take a look at these pictures. Yeah, that's probably what happened. Ooh, yeah, the goop. That's probably what mine looks like inside. All right, let's continue. Make sure the comments move to the bottom. There we go. Place desiccant bags inside the pack prior to resealing the pack. Thankfully, they're just going to swap mine out, so I'll have a factory fresh pack, even though it's going to be old. Maybe they'll add a few miles back, so I'll get back some of them 3 miles I missed delivery. Most available space is near where the coolant enters the pack. Drill and install bottom serviceable desiccant cartridges, like the Smart EV or my 3D printer. Again, near the coolant pack area. Speaking of 3D printer, I need to lubricate that thing. It's got a maintenance requested light. This is a less frequent failure from water ingress, though. Rusted fuse cover in salted area of the cars. Yeah, they said my fuse was fine, even though it was coming up on the replacement area. And that won't be a problem now. I'll have a new fuse. On the P series cars, they have the electric pyro fuse, but they're battery powered, and they're not rechargeable batteries. They're just like your watch cell batteries, and they're not just like that, but similar. They're long lasting and they do have a life. The newer cars, they are self powered, so they just uh, sap a bit of power from the bus, and they power themselves that way. And the oldest ones were also unpowered, but they had like the little fingers. And as Richard Bill showed us in a couple of videos and clips, as they wear out and pull back, eventually they disconnect, and now you've got a dead car. Versus the pyro fuse, you have to have been in a crash before they explode. Less frequent failure for water ingress on road salted cars. Maybe BMB capacitors will fail first, such as on this pack. But on later BMBs with different designs, I'm not sure this will be true. Will Tesla reman effort go through this level of detail to inspect all 16 BMBs? Probably not. Car failed with one BMB. Scan my Tesla module showed 8 modules, numbers reflecting network ordering, not the HV0 bus order. Yeah, I saw that too. It was potentially dangerous misunderstanding when disassembling the pack. Yeah, yes. That's why even Tesla's not like the service centers. They're not allowed to open the packs anymore. I don't know if the places that were already certified to do it can still do it, and they just don't because they don't have time, or if even they don't do it anymore. 3 others are behind. This isn't completely failed. Just let it go. Diagnostic tool inspection. 3 near failed VMBs would have remained on the pack. Interesting. So now we know more of what happened inside there. So is the desiccant bags? Or is that the fuse cover after the metal comes off? I'm not sure. Can we contact him? But it looks like it'd be a desiccant bag, right? Not sure. Interesting. Have you removed the orange lid? I don't know. Orange lids. Okay, some more pictures of what was in there. Okay. Like I said, moving on, and I'll deal with the rest on my own later. We talked about the Mustang. Oh, I was looking at what computer is in this thing, but I'm still in my car, so I wanted to capture it before my car, since it is a dying 12 volt, because there's no BMS to bring it back online. Um, I wanted to capture all that before it all went away. So now let's go back to the loaner car. Oh, go back to mine for one more second. They had a battery health icon. I wonder if it goes from like upper middling to dead. It does not. I had 517.8 charge cycles on it out of 1,500 charge cycles that it was expected to hold normally. And at 1,500 on those cells, it didn't just die, it was just 80%. Max range was at 257.36 at the end. The capacity was down from 102 kilowatt hours to 88.01 kilowatt hours. And the health was previously at 90.59% health with a 9.41% degradation. Right, so I'll switch to this other car. It might not have any battery data because I've only done one charge on it. Well, I say one, two charges on it because they gave it to me with 29% and it was already on the low voltage charger and I moved it to the supercharger. So it does have battery health. Its battery health is at 89.95% with a 10.5% degradation and a capacity of 86.46 kilowatts. So that is how much more efficient the Plaid is than my old P100D, because it's got the heat pumps and whatever other little tricks they did to the thing, that it can have 2 less kilowatt hours and still have dozens more miles than mine. That's incredible. The max range is 278.91 on this performance Model X loaner car. That is really cool. It's had 248.02 cycles on the battery. And need to get the right tab while we were even there. Oh, set battery date. So I need to, when they tell me they've changed it, I need to tell it that my new battery is in so that they know. I like that. That way it's not assuming that the old pack suddenly had a health change, because that would be scary to software. It says that car is idling because I didn't turn off Sentry mode yet. It's parked under a camera. There's no need for it to have Sentry mode turned on. Okay, ended up in Savannah. Oh no, that was this car, the loaner car. Get a closer look. I don't care about any of that. I want to know the firmware because I want to know which computers this thing has in it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was like, where did they put it? It needs air in the rear tires. Cabin protection is on. Good. Not that I plan to leave the baby in the car, but stuff happens. The battery charging is complete. No phantom drain somehow. That new computer is just cool. I don't want to precondition it. Software is 2024.32.10. That is FSD 12.5.4.1, I believe. I think that's what I've got on my X. Oh, there's my car. Service mode 0%. Estimated repair completion November 15th at 5 p.m. Mine's running 12.5.4.1 for the FSD. Software update 2024.32.10. So we're on the same software update on both cars for now. let's go into the firmware. It said one update installed. I guess maybe one update installed since they put it in my name. So that would probably be a map update because I didn't click update on anything. So this vehicle, I got the VIN number. It's online. It's not in service. Calendar enabled, yes. The API version. The share type is Tesla Fleet Customer, yes. Bluetooth low energy auto pair is false. I can't change the name anymore. They stopped letting you change the name of the service loaners. And let's see here. Oh, let me switch back to their car so when I walk up to it, the doors actually unlock. All right, so they took out the Cybertruck test drive. I didn't. The lady said it wouldn't show up in my app, but it totally did. But I didn't know that till after I turned the key back in, so I didn't think to turn on my cloud profile or anything for the Cybertruck. Charts schedule data. Show schedule complete state, timestamp, charge state, charge limits, miles added, charge port doors open, yes. Latch engaged, yes. Just drawing nothing from the charger. The battery range is 230.24 miles. So this one was just 10 miles less at 80% than mine is at 90%. Fast charger brand is invalid because it's on a Gen 2 wall connector. AC single wire CAN. Not enough power to heat is false. Actually, null. Supercharger session trip planner is false. Usable battery level 80%. That's cool. I wonder how much. I don't have a Tesla scanner on this one. I wonder how much reserve this one has. Mine has 5 kilowatt hours of reserve when it's not broken. This one does not say how much reserve it keeps. All about climate control, where it is, the GUI, preconditioning, timestamp, config. There we go. Auxiliary parking lamps, North American Premium. Badge version 1. It's got the version 1 plaid badge. Can accept navigation requests, yes. Can actuate trunks, yes. But the frunk should not be a power frunk because that's a Cybertruck feature. And then mine is just aftermarket. Car type is Tamarind. Tamarind versus Highland and Juniper. Chargeport type is US. Cop upper set temperature supported. Oh, cabin overheat protection. Yep. Dash cam clip save. Default charge set to max. Nope. It's got AP3 driver assist. It says. Okay. Because unless you're on the newest firmware that's gone out to just a few people, the car won't tell you. It just says that it's got full self driving or not. It doesn't tell you full self driving 3 or 4. So that explains why we have the same update. Because typically the Tesla cars, they're right up in there with the with Elon's friends group. And so I was curious why this one was rocking the same version as me if it has hardware 4. Because it doesn't have hardware 4. Exterior color solid black to my obsidian black. Efficiency package is default. It's not an EU vehicle. It does not have ludicrous mode because it has plaid. Seat heating, seat cooling. Interior is carbon black. Headlamps are premium. Motorized charge port, it better. Paint color override is none. Rear drive unit, coriander dual. Coriander. I think they like these foods. Rear seat heaters 1. Seat heat type 2. Supports QR pairing. False. I guess that would be for the test drive cars, the QR pairing. Third row seats are fold flat, yes, but not the second row. They get them stupid, pretty seats. Uses range badging. True. It does not. uses the plaid badge. Webcam selfie supported, true. Webcam selfie supported, true. Or webcam supported, true. Okay. New turbine black wheels. And then some more stuff about the vehicle. This one's actually got HomeLink installed, and the Cybertruck I was in, it did not even. Well, I guess you could probably still add it as an option, otherwise they wouldn't have showed it on the screen. But it said not installed, and then offered me to pair my cube with it. But I'm not giving those people money. They got the garage door opener. They do one job and show you ads. Now playing is YouTube music. That is true. Software update is not in download. And speed limit is set to 85 because it's a service car. All right, so that's that. We now know that it's a hardware 3 car. Curiosity satisfied. Let's get back to the program. I am sorry for the distraction. I hope you enjoyed nerding out with me. So we did the Ford. We did the Blade Runner lawsuit. Mercedes is getting into EV battery recycling, which is like smart, because when you've got battery packs coming in, you can mine them a lot easier than you can mine raw ore. And as the studies have told us, you get a better grade battery at the end of it. They expect to be able to process 50,000 battery modules each year. Now, if they mean modules inside the battery, that's not impressive. But if they mean whole batteries, that's really cool. It's in southern Germany, so it's in their home turf. And the first manufacturer worldwide close to the battery recycling loop with its own in-house facility. I don't know that that's true. I don't know that that's true. I don't know who Honda and Toyota were using for their battery recycling, but they've been recycling since the first hybrids. And Tesla does do some stuff on their own, but it maybe doesn't qualify for whatever exclusion they're using here. And who else is there that does battery recycling that we know? I mean, because now there's Redwood, and Tesla's very tightly integrated with them thanks to their co-board member, JB Strobel, CEO of Redwood and founder. I don't know who else there is off the top of my head, but I don't think that statement is accurate that they're the first. Mercedes says a EQE sedan requires 10 battery modules, so they do mean battery parts. So enough for 5,000 cars. That's not terrible, but it's not all that impressive compared to the dedicated battery recycling facilities. Each containing numerous individual cells, so rough math suggests that the plant could produce enough battery renewable materials for 5,000 vehicles with its current technology. It's better than nothing, and it's not a token effort. That is substantial. It's just not that much to crow about that particular number. Battery recycling is still a niche industry. Oh, and I imagine Panasonic right there inside the Gigafactory is recycling cells as well. Hold on to Mercedes. We are at Marion Hill Buyback Center based in South Africa. facility is engineered and implemented right, it will be modular and cookie cutter technology that one can add a battery module at a time to their operations to expand, handle ever more battery pack. Yeah, you would hope they did it this way. You would hope. Then we're talking about large legacy companies, and you, you would not be smart to hope. Then we've got Drive Test Canada is talking about what I just told you on the Mustang Mach-E with the heat pump. I was telling you about the updated Blue Cruise, and I was gonna just skip it, but they also linked a video, so let's look at that real quick. Blue Cruise 1.5 with automatic lane change on the 2025 Mach-E. And unlike the Teslas, it likes to get out of the passing lane before somebody's running up your tail, um, according to that graphic. But according to the description, it sounded just the same. It would just hang out in the passing lane. Um, then we've got a Inside EVs post about the Model Y is now selling for roughly $28,000 on the used market, $800 less than the average used car, irrespective of fuel type. That is phenomenal. Let's take a look. Saw a sharp price decrease on the used car market. Average value reaching 2807 last month, 20.2% drop compared to the last year. Certain amount of value lost for current owners. Cars are not investments. Dual motor version? Question mark. That's a good question. That is a problem right now. The perception of what the owner is all the stuff he's saying. Not the owner. He's not really the owner. He's just an employee that owns a lot of shares and is very loud. First Costco branded DC fast chargers have built-in batteries. That's smart because, as we keep saying, if you can do your fast charger and have it slow charge itself when there's no cars connected, it'll save you on install costs for upgrading the grid and that sort of thing. So, but then you just have to weigh out your interconnect fees, your demand charges, and install them. But even if you don't have expensive electricity or limited pipe, it still makes sense to put a battery in to hedge yourself against these companies getting rate approvals and pushing them through, because they do that. That's why part of the reason why people don't like the power companies. So let's look at the details on this. All right, so 28,000 on the used market from irrespective of fuel type. Cars.com. The average price of the selling used EV is selling for is down 9% year over year. Decrease of 5% of all new vehicles, going down 2% year over year. Yeah, we're still coming down from the overpricing of COVID cars. People notice, so the search volume for used EVs on cars.com went up a staggering 32%. So it's going to stable itself out. Supply and demand right there. Supply, demand, price. You got it. September compared to the same month last year, while all of the used car searches went down by 2%. And that matches with people struggling in their day to day. Overall, they're doing better, yes, but not everybody. And a lot of stuff went up to match. Model Y saw a sharp decrease on the used market, reaching 28,071. We talked about that. The average price for used EV is 37,145. New inventory increased by an impressive 50% last month, thanks to General Motors expanding their portfolio, including the Blazer, Equinox, and Cadillac Lyriq. However, not all these vehicle models are exactly hot sellers, which many new EVs sitting on dealer lots longer than the industry average 86 days in September, compared to 72 days for all fuel types. Interesting. I don't know what that is. Well, I've put a drink on it. It's soaked way through. Got a bit to go to get under my 20K number. I don't know if values will continue to fall or they'll suddenly rise. It all depends on FSD. If the systems can go unattended in the next year, values could skyrocket. Yes, but then you still got the pre-FSD cars. They're kind of old by now. We're looking at early 2014 and older. Mm, that's not FSD. That's AP1. So you're looking at early 2016. Oh, sorry, yeah, early 2016 and earlier. So those are still not that old. I assume fast increasing as a percentage. All I know is that the Model Y outsells all its competitors combined by a large margin. Continuing on. It's a lot easier with these pictures I've got in here. All right, so Tesla's released a vehicle safety report. This is their FSD report card for the quarter. At Tesla, we believe the technology can help improve safety. That is why Tesla vehicles are engineered to be the safest cars in the world. We believe the combination of passive safety, active safety, and automated driver assistance is crucial for keeping not just Tesla drivers and passengers safe, but all the drivers on the road. It's this notion that grounds every decision that we make, from the design of our cars to the software we introduce to the features we offer every Tesla owner. And driving out cost. Model S, X, 3, and Y have achieved the lowest overall probability of injury of any vehicles ever tested by the US government's New Car Assessment Program, the NCAP. Much of this has to do with rigid, fortified structure of the battery pack that is mounted to the car's floor, which provides the vehicle with exceptional strength, large crumple zones, and a uniquely low center of gravity. I'm curious what the crash test will be between the Cybertruck Extended and Cybertruck, and then any future Cybertruck with just a bigger internal battery. Because of their strength, Tesla's battery packs rarely incur serious damage accidents, and in the extremely unlikely event that a fire occurs, the state-of-the-art design of our battery packs ensures that its safety system works as intended and isolates the fire to select areas within the battery, while simultaneously venting heat away from the passenger compartment and vehicle. While no car can prevent all crashes, we work every day to try and make them less likely to occur. Active safety features come standard on all Tesla vehicles made after September 2014 for added layer of safety between the physical structure of each car. Because Tesla is connected, we're able to use the billions of real-world miles of real-world data from our global fleet, of which more than 9 billion have been driven with autopilot engaged. That's incredible. To understand the different ways crashes can happen, we then develop features that can help Tesla drivers mitigate or avoid crashes through over-the-air software updates. We are able to introduce safety features and enhancements long after a car has been delivered, as well as release the updated versions of existing safety features that take into account the most up-to-date real-world data collected by our fleet. An example of this is Model 3 and Y had their airbags reprogrammed based on stuff they saw in the field to make them safer. October 2018, we began voluntarily releasing the quarterly safety data to provide critical safety information about our vehicles to the public. And in July 2019, we began voluntarily releasing annually updated data about fires as well. Crash rates among our vehicles on the road can vary from quarter to quarter and be affected by seasonality, like reduced daylight and inclement weather conditions. This is true. Miles driven per one crash. Tesla vehicles using autopilot technology, Tesla vehicles not using autopilot, and United States average. So here, quarter three, 2024, they're at over 7 million miles before a crash occurs with autopilot on. And with it off, like 1.25 million. and the U.S. average was a little over 500,000 miles. Interesting. Excuse me. And their best year was Q1 of this year at like 7.5 million between autopilot crashes. But the human factor was less in Q1 at just about 1 million, whereas this quarter the humans are at 1.25 million. Vehicle fire data. So anyone tells you, "Oh my goodness, EVs catch fire," this, that, and the other, you're looking at 135-ish million miles before there's a fire event for 2022 on Teslas, and for the fleet average, it actually dropped a little to just under 20 million miles per fire, uh, at a high of almost 20 million per fire on the fleet, the gas, hybrid, all that. They're telling you a little bit about their methodology, um, simply because you got all the people say, "Oh well, uh, if they turn off autopilot before you crash, it doesn't count." It does. They give you 5 seconds. 5 seconds before the crash, it's on Tesla. Doesn't mean you're not responsible or liable, but they count that as an autopilot crash and not human pilot crash. All right, we talked about the Apple Watch. We talked about the FSD. No, we didn't. So Cybertruck is now available for FSD transfer as of the 21st, and is eligible for the free FSD transfer until the end of the year. Cybertruck was not eligible before, but Tesla changed the rules on the 21st. This means you can get the FSD for free on 3S, X, or Y, or Cybertruck if you take delivery by the 31st and have a car to take it from. Let's look back at the Fiat again for some reason. Oh, it's just a picture. The Fiat is symbolizing Stellantis, and they could make fewer gas cars to avoid emissions fines. The company is also is ready to reduce the output of gasoline and diesel cars. The COO told the Automotive News of Europe the production cuts could commence as early as next month. So rather than buy more credits from Tesla or whoever's got them, they would rather make less cars. Yeah, that's the ticket. We're going to make less cars to avoid fines. It's got nothing to do with anything else. Don't worry, investors. We're intentionally doing this. Yeah, that's the ticket. Stellantis picked the slower death route. Yeah, that's how it sounds. I don't know why my eyelids are so itchy today. What, baby? Your friend?
Yeah.
Open?
Yeah.
Open what?
Yeah.
All right. So U.S. brands really need to produce EVs. That's true. So the regulations are working great. That's true. They can either make less cars, they make more cars and pay the fee, or they can buy the cars from a somebody who is meeting the regs. Felt like I ran over the headphone baby, but ran over something else, and thankfully she's not standing there, so it wasn't baby toes. Um, so this implies that their profit per vehicle was less than what the fine is. That's what I was looking for. They've been working on thin margins to sell vehicles. Then, yeah, absolutely. I think that's all we need to say about them. You know what? Let's check and see if I wrote a comment on this article. I don't recall. I don't believe I even went into this article. I just wanted to talk about what they did. Garbage management. Stellantis can produce 0 ICE vehicles, as far as I'm concerned. To sell all Chrysler brands to Frank Rhodes. I think that's they got the descendant. It's great grandson of Walter Chrysler. The no longer garbage management keeps Chrysler. The more likely they'll bankrupt it again. If only it was easy to build a successful and profitable automotive business. Who is Frank Rhodes going to partner with to achieve that kind of economy of scale required to increase margins and compete with the Chinese and partnering with Western OEMs? The fueling infrastructure doesn't have to be ready for 10 million cars at once. This is true. Okay, so I didn't. I stayed on the Twitter discussions on it. Deal on Model 3 in Washington State, coming from MDR. Matthew Dunnigan Ryan says that Washington State, you can get a Model 3 lease for $0 down and $99 a month. And when I tell people that, they don't believe me. Imagine if every retired person, teacher, or college student knew this. The 3NY Zero promo deal will cost Tesla $600 million in quarter 4 in the US alone. Imagine how much demand Tesla could generate by dumping $600 million in a single quarter on a company's comprehensive multi-channel education awareness campaign in the US. Talking about advertising. The state incentive ran out of money and ended last night. Ouch. Hopefully they replenish it for 2025. Great. In Germany, I can get a Model 3 for $663 US, and we make about 25% less income on average. You're welcome. They all know, but few of them have a place to charge overnight. You can find a way. Can I show you a screenshot of $0 down, $99 a month? It doesn't seem to let me configure that. I think that they might have caught that the program ran out of money. But they don't. Elon believes it's an affordability issue, not awareness. So, shrugs. We got a new video demonstrating FSD supervised 12.5.6.1 with Actually Smart Summon. I'm intentionally debating the value of the drone view layout since the HDMI screen recording. Chime in below. I mean, the drone is like cool tech, but does it matter? No. The Cybercab was at an event recently. It's kind of sat there open so people could look at it. Bob Lutz, 5 years ago today. The Model Y is terminally ugly. I don't know who's going to buy that. The Tesla Semi is simply never going to get built. I had a chance to meet Bob. So after I got my Volt or before I got my Volt? He was it had to have been after because he was selling the Via trucks at the time. I think it would be great if Tesla allowed more vehicles in the lineup to have power share capabilities. What do you think? Agreed. It's probably coming. That'd be cool if Juniper's got it, but I'm not counting on that. The $35,000 Chevy Equinox is finally here, so you can buy it. All right. Lots of discounts and perks for buying new buying a new inventory Tesla. These can be stacked with referral and military discounts. So this is coming from my friend Elon Times there, and he's pointing out this this post from Sawyer Merritt going over some of these. Remember, I told you there's so much going on. Here's what we got. We've got inventory discounts in addition of $4,000, up to $4,000. 1 year free premium connectivity on inventory vehicles, plus the $1,000 for referrals, a loyalty program, veterans benefits. Yes. They really want to sell out for the end of the year. Yeah, absolutely. That premium connectivity adds up. It's what, $10 a month? That's $120 right there. This is my ferry. This is what I got out of my order for inventory Model Y. There you go. Then let's go to some electric school buses. So these electric school buses are vehicle to X, vehicle to load, vehicle to grid, vehicle to school, and they have solar on them. That's pretty darn cool. And they are not the Lion electric buses. They are something else. And then they got a solar panel there for the equipment too. It's pretty cool. Probably costs more than 10 Rivian vans. This is absolutely true. They charge so much for electric school buses. I want to say overcharge, but I can't say that for sure. EV owners face an immediate concern: how and when to charge their vehicles. Oh, for the first time owners, yeah, there's a concern. Metro BCs. Oh yeah, I do remember setting up Windows 98 for the first time. That was a trip. Okay, so let's go into the article, see if we can get more details about these buses, like how many they are, how many watts are on the roof, and if they can charge themselves. This is not an electric bus unless it was repowered. That could be an electric bus. Let's get those. But this is a gas bus or diesel. Student transport company, First Student, and Con Edison have launched a vehicle to everything hub. I say unless it was repowered because they can take the engine out and put batteries and motor in there. Smart Energy Hub is a demonstration project that will see a dozen school buses replace diesel buses at First Student's location at Malta Street. The panels, along with solar arrays on the rooftop of the facility, will create clean energy generation, battery storage, and power delivery system. First Student is using its trenchless first charge power deployment, which it says reduces construction costs by at least 30%, is more efficient to roll out because no digging is required, and makes it easier to upgrade the charging system in the future. Can we see that here? Yeah, we can. These plastic Jersey Barrier looking things probably hide the conduit. I don't know how many repowers you would do on a school bus though. They have a lot of states have an expiration date on them. They get a certain age, they must get out, even if they're still in good shape. In summer months when the buses are idle and energy needs soar, the Solar Energy Hub can increase capacity, generating additional power for Con Edison. If needed, the Smart Energy Hub is also capable of supporting emergency services and hospitals, including HVAC, power, and lighting. Check out the video below to see how the hub demonstration project in Brooklyn works. Hmm. It's the same as all these other ones. Uh, Beyond providing a healthy, clean transportation for kids, electric school buses represent an opportunity to build energy resilience in communities, which is critical in the face of natural and other emergencies. Yes, by leveraging solar panels and integrated charging technologies, electric school buses can act as giant mobile batteries and store and discharge clean power when not being used for transportation. We're eager to see this project between First Student and Con Edison being stronger, more resilient, bring stronger, more resilient grids, as well as a clean ride for the kids to Brooklyn and serve as an example for others. They made a commitment to transition 30,000 fossil fuel buses to electric by 2035. Got to get cooking. Oh, that was cool. There was more than just the David Hasselhoff for the Halloween update for Rivian. Love it. How smart is that? They're so correct in the fact that summer energy months, the bus can sit around and create fumes in the heat. That's true too. Didn't Sono pivot panels on cars for other automakers? They could have covered a bus. Oh, Sono, the Sono Motors. I'm curious if they did. Excuse me. If I was a school kid, I would work out a way of getting a vehicle to Tesla coil. Article lacks data about what electricity the buses produce with their rooftop panels. Yeah, I was hoping to see that too. It seems like it would be minimal, but replacing the diesel electric motors on these buses is great. They also mentioned there'd be a rooftop on the building, so they're fine. I look at the surface area of those panels, I'd guess each bus has somewhere between 1 and 2 kilowatts of power. It's probably enough to run the HVAC on the bus when it's in the sun. Also a good point. Buses are 8 feet wide, 35 to 45 feet long. Yes, school buses. The long ones. So standard solar panels are 3.5 feet wide and 5 feet long. My panels are about 400 watts each, not optimal, and I have early morning shade and late afternoon cutting my production. But even with my 15 panels, gives me 35 kilowatts hours every day in the summer, and I have 16 in the winter, giving me about 1.5 kilowatt hours per panel per day average. That first bus will be making 16 kilowatt hours per day, in your area with a flat roof, and the others only about 10 kilowatt hours per day. It's possible. Probably more because they spend more time in a big open lot. But then again, they do drive around the city, so that those numbers stay. If all 12 buses are the 6 panel, they would make about 120 kilowatt hours per day, or almost 44 megawatt hours a year. These batteries are in the 300 kilowatt range and do not exhaust to zero, so those panels probably provide about 220 charges, assuming they use 200 kilowatt hours per day. It's 18 days of use, and they may use a bit more or less based on, but either way, it's about 10% of the school year covered by the roof. That's a good point. And just the roof of its own bus. Add in the massive solar array, the one on the building, and they probably have surpluses at the end of the year. Yeah, you would need surpluses to join a program like this. It seems pretty win-win to me, especially in a place like the city. So I'm guessing New York City, where space is at a premium. Most school buses do not have AC. Depends on where you are. You go to the south, those school buses have AC. If they do, great. Otherwise, few panels mounted that way are not very efficient. That's enough speculation. Let's continue on. How we doing out there? Oh, I see why. Also, the 6 panel buses are shorter than the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 than the 10 panel bus. Former Tesla public policy executive has warned about delays to parts of a European regulation, possibly until 2028, that could affect the launch of FSD supervised in Europe. Sorry, you bought your car in 2016, and then 12 years later you can use it. Good gracious. Let's see the latest version of this post. A former Tesla public policy executive has warned about delays to the parts of the European ADAS regulation, possibly until 2028, that could affect the launch of FSD supervised. Same difference, but thankfully, yes, less clunkily worded. The EU should prioritize safety. Baby.
Yeah.
My phone's ringing? What phone?
Dun, 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 daddy, baby. Dun,
But my phone is here, and my other phone is here, and my work phone is here.
dun,
Is mommy's phone ringing?
Mommy's done winning. Dad, Papa, did you say, I say, Daddy, Mommy's done winning?
Was it your iPad ringing? Did Grandpa call you?
No.
Did your cousin call you? Your feet hurt because you're stepping on a toy. So come here, don't step on the toy.
Papa, how Daddy ran wing?
I didn't run away. I was getting the car fixed. She said she went to Grandpa's house and I ran away. I had to go with the car and the tow truck to go get the loaner car. Yes, the car is hurt. See the car doctor. Yes. Yes. Mommy said stay with Grandpa and you stay with Grandpa, yeah. And Bubba? You took the TV for you? And you sang the songs? You did. I do? I like that song?
Yeah.
Good.
And I don't like it.
You don't like the snack? Or you do like the snack?
No.
No?
I like it.
The muffin?
Mm.
Oh, the cookies? Here, you can have your hands are like looking dirty. Let me go get two. Here you go. Want one or two?
One.
Okay.
Mommy. Hey. Hey. You toy.
The car? What about the car?
Hi, hi. Ow. Ow.
Yeah, our car has a big boo boo.
Chai. Ow. Chai hop. Chai hop. Chai in. Hop. Book. Avenger.
Oh, okay.
Teacher. Doctor. Mudan.
Yes, yes. Your car is hurt too? Your Model Y? What's wrong with your Model Y?
Not hard.
Hmm. She's got the little Model Y for kids foot car.
Mm.
Yeah, it hit me. That's why it hurt. Beep beep, yes. Oh, yes. It ran over my sock. That's how I got stuck. Beep beep. That's my ankle. Scratched my ankle. Not nice. Ow! All right, where were we? Let's find out what's going on with you guys. If it's missing it. No, toy need to buy what?
Then top toy.
What? I don't want it in my plate.
Then top toy. Then top toy. Need buy.
You have got too many toys. Go find another toy.
No. Batman ring house. Mommy ring house.
The bad man in the house?
Batman ring my house. Batman ring house.
In the game where you took the key?
Yeah.
You gotta go find the key then. So your friend can get out of the house.
No.
No, you don't?
No.
You leave her in there?
I don't know. I tried it.
You tired of the game?
I tried it.
Oh, because she kept asking you to do math? And you don't know math either. Are you trying to take my muffin? Here, take the muffin. Stop reaching on my plate. Oh, bring your goggles and I'll put it for you. Bring it and I'll fix it for you. Oh no, what? Well then what are you gonna do with the cartridge? It needs to go in the machine. You tired? You need this one? This one what? Yeah, bring the goggles and I'll put it for you. They're red, remember? The red goggle? You bring them, I'll put it in there for you. Okay, so a former Tesla executive has warned about delay to regulations in Europe that could affect the launch of FSD. The Global Vehicle Automation Safety Policy Lead, Mark Van Imp, announced his departure on LinkedIn with a few choice words about delay of certain regulations surrounding the advanced driver systems of Europe. Uh, he simultaneously served as secretary of the UN task force creating UN Regulation 171, known as DCAS, and the former executive will now serve as global policy advisor at SpaceX. That's quite a change. Although not too much of a change. He's still working with governments. Makes sense. The former executive will serve as global policy at SpaceX says that a decision was made to delay certain elements of the DCAS regulation, possibly until 2028, potentially affecting FSD launch in Europe and the UK. The thing is, though, if we get real FSD unsupervised, unless it's something like Texas where they're just not in session, I don't see how these citizens will not be able to pressure their government to do what it takes at that point. Because if it's as good as they say, like 5 times safer per mile than a human driver, they have an obligation to allow this. Assuming that it gets approved here and the numbers prove out. But as we saw with just FSD supervised, the numbers are looking good. It's still supervised, so at that point they could say, "Oh, it's just a beta test, whatever, whatever." We don't want our people getting complacent. But if it's certified and insured for driverless operation, they won't have any useful reason to say no. It says the move also impacts Europe's competitiveness at a coming time when Tesla has seemingly been eager to launch the software beyond North America. They had a slight delay in China, but nothing like this. We're talking months or weeks. Wow, the classic Model 3. But they put either replaced it with wood grain or they put a wood grain sticker on it. Q2 earnings call earlier this year, Musk said he expected to gain approval in Europe and China elsewhere by the end of 2024. Well, this was after the call. You can read his statement in the matter below. Over the past 4 years, I've strived to accelerate the deployment of ADAS technologies in global markets as the Secretary of the UN. Secretary of the UN Task Force ADAS Development, the new regulation 171 or DCAS. The regulation was a step change in the ADAS homologation approach from technologically explicit requirements to performance-based assessment. That makes more sense. It must be able to do these things versus it must have LiDAR, it must have this range, it must. You must not run over a kid when one runs in front of you. You must be able to stay in the lane. That makes more sense. Uh, Opening the door for a wider array of systems, just recently the UN GRVA adopted an amendment which will make more capabilities such as system-initiated maneuvers possible. Sadly, the decision was made today to delay some of these capabilities for urban environments, possibly until 2028. So you can use FSD outside of town. That makes lots of sense. This impacts Europe's competitiveness, and it's clear that the type approval framework needs to evolve better and more quickly tackle innovative technologies. Perhaps temporary certification or deployment through pre-certification that can prove as a solution. Yeah, that would make sense. Uh, and yeah, he's right. They're gonna be far behind if they keep this up. And they have their own companies. They've got Germany. They've got a couple left in England and France. They've got car makers, and you've just hamstrung them in the global competition with China coming. The Korea's already here. China's coming. Japan. Japan is taking their time on EVs, so I don't know if they count. Meanwhile, launch of FSD supervised in China appears to be full steam ahead, with the company earlier this month announcing that it would open FSD transfers on new purchases by the end of the year. That part. In June, local reports also said that Tesla China would be testing 10 FSD supervised equipped vehicles ahead of public rollout of the software. The company also reported a reportedly gained a tentative approval for FSD China in late April. So the broad expectations for a launch this year are not unwarranted. Speaking of other places, this loaner car was tracking 46 or 48 GPS satellites, 42 Baidus, and 44 uh, Galileo satellites. These are all global positioning satellites. And the receiver can support the GLONASS, but it's probably best not to accept anything from them right now. They like the misinformation. Uh, so the same way we had our selective interference that we could offer on GPS during wartime, I'm quite sure that when the Russians copied our stuff, they had that feature in there, and so it makes sense just to ignore everything coming from their satellites. Why do I say that? Because it didn't list any of them, and I do believe it used to at a time, and I know it can receive them still. Wow, big moderation. All right, so let's move on since the comments appear to be accessible from the beginning. Cesspit. Cool. Look at this cute little thing. The Audi A2 Resto Mod makes more sense than you think. Aside from a little bit like of the dated nose and the bubble shape, it actually looks like something they can deploy today. Let's go look at the comments on this real quick. The numbers might be good, but taking on a car payment schedule is gut-wrenching painful experience. Car has to be beautiful and sexy to make people believe it. Not necessarily. I mean, you can tell it's dated, even though it looks clean and new, but it's definitely dated. So the A2 City Car celebrate the model's 25th anniversary. It's a nod to a strange part of Audi's history, but it makes more sense than you might expect. Because of its chassis configuration and electric motor, chassis configuration and electric power steering, the A2 is a great candidate for an EV swap. Interesting. What is it, a hybrid or something? A2 is one of the brand's most unusual cars, a lightweight hatchback designed to maximize interior space and fuel economy. Its unique styling is of the love-hate variety. It's a cool car to convert into electric for that reason. And that's just what a group of Audi apprentices did. In a post on LinkedIn, the company shared images of the newly christened A2 e-tron, a resto-modded electric version of the now 25-year-old city car. The German automaker shared a little about the vehicle. Let's see. Lighting has been updated, as well as the wheels and suspension. Interior also appears to have received a few aesthetic changes, but the company only shared an image of a modern Audi seat headrest, so we can't say much about what's new. Let's take a look at this thing. Right, so they added a lighted badge. That's definitely a new trend, or a current trend, I should say. I'm not saying they didn't have lighted badges in the past, but it would have been harder to do in the world of bulbs. Oh, the Chimsel has a lit logo as well. No, the Chimsel's all the way up here. So that's just a lit logo. That's kind of cool. 25 years. And they could have updated those taillights. If you're doing a one-off, you could do that. All right, so the new headrest on the interior. And there's the Chimsel lit up there above the brake pit. Close. Close. There we go. There's what it looks like on the inside and how it makes it easier to turn it into electric. It's already ready for a skateboard. Or at least to sling a battery underneath it. A2 is made entirely of aluminum castings, stampings, and extrusions, which was a novelty when it was released. The floor of the body structure is of particular interest. It's constructed from several pieces of straight aluminum profiles. The result is several large rectangular voids which are ideal places to put batteries. A2 also has electric power steering, so replacing an engine-driven hydraulic rack is unnecessary. That's not a huge deal these days. They use the open, says Jans Hubner, the brains of the Open Inverter project. He beat Audi to the punch on electrifying A2 years ago. Oh, cool. Audi didn't share any technical specs. That's why I was in here looking for tech specs and more pictures on the conversion, such as battery capacity, range, power, or other figures. Power doesn't really matter for this. It would be cooler if it were. It's still just a concept. It's just they took the old one and updated it. It's a nice little project. Next, we talked a lot about this one on the Tesla Life show, so I won't add much to it. But this is the largest supercharger going in, and I mean, MrSupercharger.com has to at least touch on the new supercharger. We've got 30 acres of supercharging, 168 supercharger posts, 11 megawatts of ground mount solar and canopies with just a 1 and change megawatts connection to the grid. 39 megawatts of storage, megawatt hours of storage with 10 Tesla Megapacks, and all this is slated to at least double over the next few years after they put it in, and after they get their grid connection upgraded. Impressive. They also have, if you look at the picture up front, they have pull-through stalls, and these Tesla Cybertrucks on the right, they have the Cyber trailer. So either they just reuse their pictures, or the Cyber trailer might not be off the table, and that will be really fun. And then here's just like um, the panels in the desert, and then Elon's candidate immediately got up on stage and was complaining about the rabbits that die in the desert, snagged on the solar panels or some crap. I don't see the collaboration there. What do you get out of it for the company? 188 posts as a game changer. Yes. I thought Superchargers were doomed after they fired the team because they hired most of the team back. They didn't really fire the team. It was a fisting match between Elon and the head of the Supercharger team. A ceremonious firing with many of the best people rehired within a day or two. Just a way to clean house, and here they are, kicking butt. A day or 7. Nice cyber trailer. Yep. Get a clearer picture of them there. You zoomed in on it for us. Oh, and the mega packs are right there next to the cyber trailers. Okay. Tesla gonna come out with a Cybertruck trailer, or they just want to play with our emotions like that? Yes, I agree. Tesla display crash Cybertrucks too. It's scary how many freaking crumple zones are actually on it. Yeah, it's from the company making the safest cars. Why would you not? It's kind of cool they put it as a Halloween decoration, though. That's scary stuff. Can't beat home charging, says Tesla. To charge our 2 Teslas overnight costs only $1. 0.028 kilowatts cents per kilowatt hour times 36 kilowatt hours added. It's 2 performance cars, cost next to nothing to own. Look at you. How the engineering team remembers the tent. Yes. This is in response to, I don't know if I put it in there or not. The big tent came a long way. The June 8th, first Model 3 coming out of General Assembly 4 at the Fremont factory, and now they just hit their millionth car just the other day. Cybercab Gold. Let's click into the article here. Only 1.5 megawatts of grid service ahead of future expansion. And some pictures of them breaking ground here. Come a long way. That's the very first supercharger on the other side of the design center. They had the design center, and then they had Harris Ranch. Harris Ranch in 2012 was a 90 kilowatt supercharger. The service center superchargers are still set up this way, not with the Gen 1 metal box, but with all the equipment for their Gen 2 or Gen V3 superchargers kind of sitting on top of. No, I don't think the V3s are built this way. Just the V2s. You've got the supercharger box with the cables coming out the bottom of it. Yes, baby. Let me see why this baby's crying. I'm coming. What? Her mom's asleep and she's bored. All right, come wash your dishes. Come on. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the very first superchargers. So Ryan said he's going to cover this on his show today. Max says that the 1.5 megawatt service will be energized at opening. Additionally, as additional grid capacity becomes available and customer charging demand shows, we're prepared to double the supercharger stall count at this site. So 188 times 2. It's 376 stalls right there on site. We'll be using the 2 or 4 hour megapack variant. Good question. Yes.
I think.
Love this back.
No, it's no. Let's buy more. Then have more ice cream. Let's buy more.
I get ice cream by yourself. You make a mess.
My ice cream fell down.
Your ice cream fell on the floor. Where?
Here,
Here?
here, here, floor. Baby.
Yeah, my floor is dirty. It's covered in toys. And popcorn for some reason. Yeah, I see popcorn on the floor. How did you do that? Has the planning changed, or is the rendition slightly different than the original plan? Mainly the layout of the pull-through stalls. She's got cheese puffs in her bowl. She takes my cheese puffs. She's got a whole box of cheese puffs. She's putting them in her toy pot. We don't play with food. You know this, right? Okay, so stop. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Can't wait to do it. Next up, we've got, as I can figure out how to scroll, the mouse is just slowing down. The world's largest gas station by stalls is the Buc-ee's in Luling, Texas. It has over 120 gas pumps. This Tesla supercharger will have 168 stalls, including multiple pull-through stalls, so EVs with trailers don't need to unhitch to be able to charge. Then we talked about Rivian and OSHA. Give a little call out to RJ. Ford has announced a $7,500 discount on the Ford F-150 Lightning. But wait, there's more. This is for fleet customers. Cincinnati Zoo powers up with a 2.8 megawatt solar carport. That is flipping cool. Look at you guys. All right, so the Ford $7,500 discount is going to be on new, obviously new. Commercial truck customers can score a sweet deal on new F-150 Lightning Pro thanks to the $7,500 fleet order discount offer. But that's just the beginning. Even more Lightning incentives for fleet buyers. You've got the $7,500 we've been saying over and over again now. It's distinct from the $7,500 tax credit. And You may qualify for up to $7,500 based on IRS code 30D. Don't do much to answer the question, but Scooter Doll put together a fantastic explainer titled, "Here's every electric vehicle that currently qualifies for the U.S. federal tax credit in 2024. And the short version is that both the standard and extended battery versions of the F-150 Lightning can qualify for the credit. Those federal EV credit dollars are stackable with discounts like the one being advertised by Ford in this banner ad below. So $1,400. So $15,000 off for yeah, between the two 7,500s. Must place new order of 2024 Lightning Pro from an authorized Ford dealer by January 2nd of 2025, and must be recorded as a commercial fleet sale, Type 7 or Type D. Government sales are also eligible. See an authorized Ford dealer for complete details. Prior model year is shown. Not like much changed. Which of you is keeping score? That means commercial fleet buyers can get $15,000 off the price of their new electric truck before negotiations and discounts at their dealer even begin. And that's not, there's more. There's more. Depending on where you live, you could be eligible for even more discounts, either from your state, whether that's through California's HVIP program, Oregon's clean vehicle rebates, or your local utility like Illinois' ComEd. And Maria Francisco Bruni says the $22,000 off could put it into the $30,000 ballpark. But more honest price, I'd say. I mean, that's cheaper than a gas truck today. Not just any old gas truck. The ones people want. They're going for $60,000 to $90,000. That shows how Ford treated customers so bad, hiking the price when struggling with production and lowering it. They got inventory. It's a business, and they're also using the Fed stuff to make this happen. So it's a shell game. It's a shell game. They're not just they don't care about the customers. BYD keeps the price low from the beginning. Just saying. Sounds like this person works for BYD, has a relation with them. Of course, all BYD parts are in house, but as a customer, I value that behavior. Oh, or they could be a customer. All right, that's enough of this. Let's go on to the next one. Don't put stuff back on my plate. If you take it out, leave it out. Yeah. If you don't want it, don't touch it. You have one. Yeah, you have a whole box of them. Don't put it on my plate. Don't put it on my plate. Thank you. She's not big on the hand washing. She washes after she goes to the bathroom. That's what it. What's wrong, baby? Come here. Mommy? Mommy is here. She's asleep. I wouldn't let her put the food she was playing with back in my plate. You ready to take your nap too? Because you sound like you could use a nap. I didn't say anything about a robot. She likes robots and she's scared to death of them. And there's a lot of robots in her life. I don't know. Some things are actual robots, and others are like, that's the light. You know, take a nap, and I'll see you when you wake up. You sleeping? Yeah, Tesla's car is dirty. I don't know how it got so much pollen on the back of it. We didn't drive in the dirt. Yeah, our car's still down there and it's still clean. Their car's dirty. It looks the same as our car. The moon's not up. The sun's up. Speaking of which, this battery got full. Let's switch to it. It took a while because it's cloudy, but it got full. Automations. Switch to battery. There we go. Then this. keep the battery level on screen so I don't drain it too far because this is our emergency battery. All right, so we were done with Ford, and then the baby started crying because I wouldn't let her put dirty food on my plate. All right, breaking. The city of Palo Alto is in discussions with Tesla to turn local streets into a testing ground for the company's newly unveiled Cybercab. Oh, don't put it in that window. Why would you put it in that window? It's just foolish to put it in that window. Come on, computer. Move this to the one they can see. Thank you. Turn local streets into a testing ground for the company's newly unveiled Cybercab, according to uh, Megan Horgan Taylor, the city's spokesperson. She noted that however, that the California Public Utilities Commission and the California DMV are the regulatory bodies responsible for evaluating and approving the operation of autonomous vehicles in our state. So they would need to approve it first. Nonetheless, this is a potentially positive step forward. See, here's the thing. Tesla already has licenses for all this stuff for testing, so they could unveil it as a free test like Waymo and them did, and then use that data for the authorization to go public with it. That's why it makes sense to do California. Texas is just because they are already lower rigs, and that's their home state now, so it only makes sense. Although it didn't make sense why not Nevada or Arizona, where they already also have licenses for testing. Um, we also learned on the earnings call that Tesla is already operating their FSD ride-hailing network for employees in the Bay Area. It includes a safety driver in the car and has been testing for the better part of a year now. A preview from the Q4 earnings report shows us what the app looks like. We've seen this picture before, um, and the actual view doesn't look that much different. Plus, isn't the Vegas Hyperloop using a ride-hailing app for people to request a car? It's a good question. Maybe. Huh, I'm an employee. How do you know more than me and you're in Canada? Hmm. I hope some of these cars are Hardware 3. Yes, I agree. I don't know anything about this. It's in the earnings report. All right, the Dodge Nostalgia. The Charger Daytona for Sonia's Wake the Neighbors Loud Edition is getting solid state batteries. And I bet you they arrive before Toyota gets theirs. Looks like they're gonna get them from N Factorial based on the picture. And so these solid state or semi-solid? Yeah, they're semi-solid state. The quasi-solid state batteries will be in the Dodge Daytona EV. Demonstration will hit the streets by 2026. So Toyota can still string us along for a few more years. Those are only semi-solid state batteries, not solid state batteries. Excuse me. Upcoming Charger demonstration, the cells have an energy density of over 390 watt hours per kilogram. Not bad. Superior to the 200 to 300 watt hours per kilogram offered by liquid anode lithium ion cells commercially available right now. The demonstration fleet is an important milestone in our partnership with Factorial, says Ned Keurig. All right, so we'll see how this goes. I'd love to see an article, maybe an EV401 level, why high energy density can pose a problem for cooling, as they are by design less spread out per kilowatt hour than other batteries. Yeah, you gotta deal with all the heat in a smaller spot. More of a mech 200 level problem. Mechanical 200. Higher density equals lower surface area equals harder to cool. Yep. But for everyone worried about losing boys' noises from cars, the increased cooling requirements present an opportunity. Yeah, fans and pumps. Also, we like with CPUs, a shorter path generates less heat, and it's if there's more to work with, it's easier to spread the load. Okay, almost there. The total number of superchargers is up 20% this year, despite a tumultuous spring. Ford CEO doesn't want to stop driving China's Apple car. What? And Elon said on the earnings call that Tesla will upgrade the Hardware 3 AI 3 customers to Hardware 4 AI 4 for free if Hardware 3 is not capable of running FSD. The system is designed to be upgradable. Yeah, because we've already done it. Computer is easy to switch. Done that too. It will take care of those who bought FSD on Hardware 3, says Elon. Having a regular $25,000 model is pointless. It'd be silly, says Elon on an earnings call on Wednesday. So he is still sticking to the story that putting the Cybercab as a regular car with a steering wheel should not happen. We'll see. He doesn't want to stop driving this Chinese car. We flew from Shanghai to Chicago, and I've been enjoying it for 6 months, and I don't want to give it up, says CEO Jim Farley. So you're gonna have to make one of your own, Bo. You are the CEO of a car company. Make it happen. Ford imported a Xiaomi SU7 from Shanghai to Chicago, where CEO Jim Farley has been driving it around for months. The Xiaomi SU7 is sold out for the rest of the year in China, with all 100,000 units spoken for. Xiaomi plan to further expand the EV market with a crossover in the near future. It could introduce a range-extended EV with a gas motor and low-cost hatchback. You don't need the range extender. It seems more and more like American automotive CEOs are starting to understand just how cooked American car companies are in the face of advanced competitors from China. This week, Ford CEO Jim Farley dropped a bombshell on a podcast. He's been driving the imported Xiaomi from China around Chicago for 6 months, and he called the car fantastic. And he doesn't want to give it up. This is the second manufacturer we know of that's imported one to evaluate. A few weeks ago, RJ Scaronge brought one into the country too. Oh. This week, Farley did a 40-minute podcast on the Everything Electric show where he discussed Ford's future and what he'd experienced in China. He admits that his trips to China and experience with Xiaomi made Ford really go into deep thought about what the company needs to do next. Everyone's talking about the Apple car, yeah, but that's gone, and for now. But the Xiaomi car, the Xiaomi SU7, exists and it's fantastic. They sell 10,000 to 20,000 a month, and they're sold out for 6 months. The consumer brand is much stronger than the car companies. Yep, so you see it every day when you whip out the phone. And you don't see those Chinese brands all that often if you are a new young family. Uh, Farley's revelation has had a mini viral moment in China, according to Chinese EVs analyst Ling Xing. That is super smart. Have you heard U.S. competitors say how good your car is? Just like it's like Fiat was advertising the Cybertruck for us. Watch. Farley is speaking on what the press has been noticing for a while now. China's tech and automotive industries are far more interconnected than the automotive and tech industries in the West. Yeah, the closest thing we've got is Tesla and Rivian. A little bit of Lucid. They're they're a tough spot at Lucid right though. Simply another product in Xiaomi's large range of consumer electronics and cell phones and TVs. You know, not all Xiaomi. The vehicle is manufactured by BAIC, so GM's partner. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it was designed by GM. Wrong. Xiaomi got a permit to make cars under BIC's license at the time. BIC AC does not make cars for Xiaomi. Interesting. Looks like we need to hire some Chinese engineers. All this talk about China stealing our intellectual property. Seems like every time the minimum wage is increased, the unions want to talk the same percentage. So when you look at what they did with the LFP, we let that waste, and they have perfected it. Don't be surprised at the heart of the Chinese innovation they speak of includes a group of multinational engineers. Yeah. I collaborate with these Chinese firms from here in the States often. That includes engineers from China, Europe, Middle East, and that's just smart. They keep saying, it's a global market, all this. Prove it. So further back on what Elon was saying. So if I heard this right, there's no new low-cost car coming out next year. That's different than the prepared statement, confused by answers. So then there's more clarification that the cybercar is coming, or sorry, the cheaper car is coming next year, but the cybercab will not be available with a steering wheel and pedals, which is what Elon said. What this cheaper car is pure speculation, but it sounds like it's going to be like a variant of 3 or Y, or based heavily on them, because I don't see how they're going to come out with a new car with a steering wheel at a lower price, unless Elon has finally learned how to keep a better secret. All right, so then I told you about Scout, right? Let's talk about Scout. Volkswagen has a new brand. Uh, it's an all electric brand this time around. They unveiled 2 vehicles for the US, the Scout Traveler SUV, starting at under 60,000, range of up to 350,000, sorry, 350 miles, and with an option for 500 miles if you use a gas extender, a range extender. Towing capacity is 7,000 pounds, not bad, better than mine. Mine's only 5,000. 0 to 60 as low as 3.5 seconds. That's keeping up with me. I'm 2.8. Next, yep, better have Max at this point. So Max native, that's smart. 800-volt architecture, so it's ready to roll with the Cybertruck with less towing capacity. Up to 350 kilowatts fast charging, so matching the Cybertruck, and have bidirectional charging capability. Same. Optional for 35-inch tires, so exactly the same there too. With 12 inches of ground clearance, 3 feet of water fording capability, and production starts in South Carolina in 2027. So competing with a 2023 car in 2027, that's a interesting choice. We'll see what happens with the rest of the market by the time this thing comes out. $100 reservations are now open. And then they've got that was just the SUV. So now let's look at the truck. Starting at under 60,000, range of up to 350 miles. The option for 500 miles with a built-in gas generator. This one makes sense to have a generator for towing. Towing capacity of 10,000 pounds, so just one short of the Cybertruck. 0 to 60 as low as 3.5 seconds. A bench-style seat in the front. It's probably for nostalgia. NACS 800-volt architecture, up to 350 kilowatts charging, and bidirectional charging capabilities. Option for 35-inch tires, 12-inch ground clearance, 3 feet of water fording capability. So you can get the pickup truck if you don't need the extra chairs. 5.5-foot pickup bed with 2 120-volt power outlets and 1 240-volt power outlet. It sounds like they were benchmarking the Cybertruck. Production starts in South Carolina in 2027. $100 reservations open now. Let's look at these pictures. It's looking like Rivian meets Bronco is what people have been saying, and that was exactly what I thought when I saw them loaded up. I'm not familiar with the old Scout to say, but also they do have a Rivian partnership on this, so it makes sense. I do like that interior. It's not too many buttons and switches. I don't like the color of the wood. I'm not a wood fan mostly, but I do like some wood, but that color is just not doing it for me. But it's better than the darker woods that the old Teslas had. Because when they didn't let you not pick wood, I was thinking of the lighter color. Da, da, da. Wheels, tires, out in the field, outstanding. Another angle in the interior, I like that. I like this better than the other one, and I think it was that cork. There's a better looking wood to me. It looked like they had Rivian do the interior completely. Yeah, they did. Is that a retractable roof? That appears to be a retractable roof. There's the bench seat and the pickup truck. It's got the bed lighting down there. I like that. Terra. Seat controls are interesting. Okay, I kind of like that seat. Does it have the Rivian boombox? Or are we just looking through a hole to the speaker? Last one. Got their frunk, a nice size frunk. So they learned from Rivian and Ford to just do a frunk that you don't have to lift over. Oh, it's got an extending seat or just more storage underneath. Wow, classic style. The old linear speedometer. Neat. Does it say 55 on it? No, it says 65 limit. I was so hoping it'd say 55 limit on it. To go totally retro. They're just standing in the field. Starts in 2027. Honestly, not sure why VW is even going to survive that long. I hate saying, but I don't like it. I think the Rivians look better. Rivian wins either way. Inside the front looks like a giant CD player. Rivian's doing a rolled rear window like the 4Runner in the next gen. I won't buy an SUV without it. Oh. Speaking of other brands, we've got Zero Motorcycles is close to closing a $120 million funding round. Their first since 2022. Congrats. Also, with IPO, get in on it if you want, I guess. I don't know. Not financial advice. Talk to your people. Chinese automaker Xpeng faces EU tariffs head on, and Xpeng is committed to the European market even with steep tariffs. President Gu, yeah, it's got to be Gu, hints at local production in Europe. Like I said, they're just going to come to Mexico and Europe directly if you do this, because they don't pay the tariffs. Whoever's bringing them in pays the tariffs, which means that the customer pays the higher price. And so if they just show up in the local market with the cheap stuff, now they're knocking your pants off from inside your own turf. Whoops. I'm not saying I'm anti-tariffs. I'm just saying that these ones in the U.S., Canada, and Europe, they don't appear that they were well thought out. Trying to protect local industry, did it the lazy way. Just saying. I'm no expert, but it seems like Xpeng's commitment to the European market is admirable. Local production would be a game changer amidst those tariffs. Yes. Field scores decided with Elon ruling on Friday that Tesla CEO does not have to delete a 2018 and I talked about the referrals and Scout again. So, oh wait, no, it's different. It's still Scout, but it's different. VW's direct sales model for Scout Motors is being challenged by U.S. dealers. Go figure. We need our middleman fee. While we wait for that to load, see if the tweets are. Of course it is. Slow down progress so we can make bank for a few more years. That's all this is. This would be a deal killer for me. I don't plan to step foot inside another, he calls it, dealership. And this direct sales model a violation of contract. It would be if they did this as VW, but they're doing it as Scout, not VW. So unless they still have active Scout contracts, then these people don't have any leg to stand on. It seems to me that EVs are seen in this industry as reliable enough not to need a dealership next to every McDonald's. I'm good with that. I'm a fan, but I'm not. Okay, so he's almost on board with EVs. He's a doubter about the miles and stuff and charging. Whoever party bus I just crashed. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can you imagine you have a party bus and Snoop Dogg jumps on? He's been so cool lately. Oh, this is fun. Sorry, everyone. This is 100% how I imagine Cybertruck's personality. The more spiciness and mischief. I gotta hear what he put to say. Nothing. So I wonder if it's protected on the car or from inside the car. It's kind of funny. Why do I have to remove my? Why do I have to pay my nearly $1,000 annually to get this little sticker, and then remove my plate to fix it? I waste my time and money to show you my automobile is registered when you allow criminals and drive around with expired ones. It's not just Newsom. It's every state they do this crap. Why are we still having to do this right now anyway? Why isn't it just a flag in the car is what his license plate number is, who the owner is, and if it's registered or not? What could this be? Spotted in Salida. Well, is it a Hyundai, a Lincoln, or a BYD? I'm not sure. Looks like an HMG vehicle, Hyundai Motor Group. Yeah, kit vibes. Based on the front fog lights, I'd say it's a Hyundai. Yeah, Ioniq 9, maybe. Looks like some sort of Hyundai. The Ioniq 9 has the Hyundai Kia design language. Maybe EV minivan or large SUV. It's not a minivan with the handle back there. Hyundai Ioniq equivalent of the EV9. Hope it's not an e-tron QZ7. The shape reminds me of it. Okay, continuing on. So, what's the problem with the dealerships and Scout? Let's see. VW's Scout Motors is looking to enter the electric market using a sales model that's proven effective for industry leaders like Tesla, Rivian. Uh, on Thursday, Scout noted that it was planning to adopt a direct sales model instead of using a conventional dealer network. Ooh, I bet some people were mad, assuming that they were getting the contracts for these like they got all the others. All right, so the software says it'll be good, and the screen is frozen. Web is still good too, so it's a little late. Let me refresh it. It says excellent connection. Live. Stream health is healthy. Yeah, so apparently we picked a format that both X and YouTube like. Now, with such a sales model, Scout would be directly selling and servicing customer vehicles, and the company also pledged full transparency on pricing, as noted by CNBC report. However, while Scout's decision to adopt a direct sales model is understandable, it attracted the ire of groups representing U.S. auto dealers. The same U.S. auto dealers that got their panties in a twist when Smart tried to go electric, and who else did it? And they got all pissed off. Smart and Fiat. Introducing the all-new Scout Traveler SUV, it's a bold, rugged design with iconic proportions that pays respects to our heritage while looking forward to the future. Click the link to reserve your Scout Traveler SUV. NADA, North American Auto Dealer Association, noted they are looking to challenge Volkswagen's decision to sell Scout vehicles directly to customers. As per the dealer association, they will challenge this and all attempts in direct courthouses and state houses across the country. NADA CEO Mike Stanton noted that VW's decision to sell Scout vehicles direct to customers and compete with U.S. dealer partners is disappointing and misguided and will be challenged. Not at the manufacturer level, at the brand level. And I'm sure they'll find a friendly judge to say otherwise, because that's the same way that the Tesla bans have been working. But you are protected from Ford opening a Ford store down the street from you, selling and servicing Fords for less than you can. Same for Chevrolet, Chrysler, Jeep, and so on. The reason that Tesla and Rivian work is there are no other Tesla or Rivian stores to compete with. They are all owned by the company. The only angle I can see they have on this is the manufacturer level, which is stupid. And if the judge agrees with that, that is just a stupid decision. The problem with this is that they basically a legalized cartel. You once they have a dealership model, you have to go through them. Do they provide value? Is always the question. I know I provided value. Did I provide 15 to 20% value? Probably not. I took it. Um, do the businesses have a right to choose to use distributors? Absolutely. However, once they choose to use a distributor, they're now latched into that for life. They cannot get out of it unless they close the business down, open it up again, something else, and doesn't really fit with the American ethos and the American small business rules. All this. At the same time, I get not investing millions of dollars into these companies for them to roll all over you. But if your way is so good, and that's the only way to get the local softball team funded and all this other crap that NADA came up with when Tesla was fresh, they had this little cartoon. It was so uh, annoyingly cutesy and wrong that if all that were true, then you should be able to stand on your own without all these extra legal protections, except for the ones protecting you from your own manufacturer and brand, because the brands were they used to be synonymous with the manufacturers. That's why it's in my head that way. But GM can open a Buick store or give you a Buick store and make the exact same vehicle for Pontiac and put it right next door to you, and they don't have to give it to you, depending on what's in the contract. And so now you're having to sell against somebody else. It's not Buick, and they could cut the price underneath you. The only difference there is you're now competing with somebody else. Good evening, Anders. Good to see you. Uh, Came on a little bit late. The software for this stream wanted updating, and so that was fun. Um, yeah. This is dealer protection laws I get, but these dealerships are going a step too far beyond what is reasonable and beyond what is called for. And I get why not get every dollar available to you. I just hope that they don't pull an eye off metal and make a mess of stuff that doesn't need mess of. Worst case is they already have a joint with Rivian. I could see them pivoting this to be a Rivian's brand, and Rivian administers it for them, not as a dealership, but just it's like a second Rivian brand, and VW just pockets the money. It's the same with any other middleman concept. I get it for like medicine and firearms. I don't get it for something like a car because they're not licensing the cars or anything like that. They're doing paperwork and giving you the metal. Import export. If the manufacturer wants to do it on their own, that's fine. If they want a distributor to do it, it makes sense. It's an outdated concept, and if they keep doing this while also fighting electric cars, they're like, why do you want this so bad if you don't even want to sell electric cars? Same thing happened with Tesla, except it was a cool car. They probably would have sold the heck out of that, but Tesla didn't want to do that, and they're not required to. So, ended on a downer, don't I? So I want to thank everybody, including our channel members like Anders and all of you guys for taking your time to watch here with us today. And I will catch you guys on Monday for the Tesla Life Express and Wednesday for the Tesla Life Show, and then back here next week. So catch you on the flip side, and thank you very much.